The Pinball Network is online. Launching.
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
All right, here we go. Episode 21. Travis, you ready?
Joel, you're so kind. You're so beautiful. People love you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, that was very kind. Yeah.
Hey, snaps for everybody. We're being nice this episode.
Yeah. Tom, how you doing? You ready?
Yep.
Tom found his curse button. But all right, here we go.
We're three guys who like to talk pinball, so we came up with a clever name. We're Joel and Travis Tom who talk pinball, and we call ourselves Triple Drain, Triple Drain, Triple Drain. We're Triple Drain.
Triple Drain.
All right. Well, hello, boys. Yeah, here we go. Episode 21. We're just going to dive right in here. We do have some housekeeping to take care of. So first and foremost, there was quite a discussion on the TPN Discord about censorship and about whether or not podcasts should include cursing. And, you know, it's an interesting topic. I don't know. Tom, do you have any strong feelings on what your thoughts are there? Oh boy, that's...
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think what I'm just going to have to say is we're just going to have to start the podcast with kind of a disclaimer, you know, hey, there may be words that are shared in this podcast that little children may not need to hear.
For instance, we might say the word or, but
I didn't even know that last one. Dang, Tom.
Or we might say, you know, hi.
Or so what's great is Tom's editing himself. He has a button on his soundboard, so he's just having a good old time over there. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you guys feel strongly one way or the other, feel free to write in at tripledrain@gmail.com. But at the end of the day, we look at this as kind of poker night. The three of us are just chatting it up. I mean, I do almost no editing to these podcasts. So
and Travis has a cigar every time we do a podcast. So
I don't know what. So, okay. So first we have working audio for everybody and we have working video. Tom puts his camera right front and center. I got a beautiful shot of his face. Mine's front and center. Beautiful shot of his face. Travis right now, I'm looking at his shoulder blade. His shoulder, like,
yeah, you are
straight up shoulder blade. Like, who thinks, I need to set up a webcam for a podcast? Let me put it not directly to my left, but like to my left and slightly behind me.
Well, we talked about this last episode, Joel.
Oh, for $20 more? Yeah, I can get a more direct.
You've only given me 5, so you only get the shoulder blade right now.
Oh, Lord. Well, and the shirt's on too, but... And then the other way to
see through. Don't worry.
To fill people in, Tom is drinking a Diet Mountain Dew. So buckle up, everybody. Not only is he drinking a Diet Mountain Dew right now, he informed us, but before the podcast, he had a margarita. So, you know, we don't know what's coming out with Tom, but
I was drinking heavy today.
Yeah.
Long day, Tom.
It was a long day.
It was a Thursday, yeah, for sure.
There you go.
But I treated my staff out to lunch today, so.
Oh, well, that's why it's a long day. Yeah.
It's a long
Wait,
day.
if your lunch margarita is still affecting you in any way.
Well, it was like a lunch. It was a lunch dinner.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
A lunch dinner?
Yeah, it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
That's a late lunch. Yeah, okay. All right.
It's 8:30 now. That margarita's still with you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, the other thing, some of the feedback
just
we
the
got,
paint fumes.
We had a few people that messaged us and were like, "Dude, I love the banner. I love the banner of this show, but are you guys okay? You know, like are kind of worried. Like I think, you know, mom and dad are fighting kind of thing. Or they just want to make sure the three of us actually don't have hostility towards each other. I know I have none towards Tom. Tom and I think we're good to go.
Yep.
Travis.
What? All I said is I thought one time you were, you know, an asshole.
That was a little delayed. Try it again.
On the
try it again,
there.
Travis. Try it one more time.
Asshole.
No, you want to hit the button as you're saying the word.
Asshole. Well, screw it. All right, we're good.
Oh, it'd be best if you're like, because you're an you like just get right in. It's too good. Too good. All right.
gotta
Well
get it
done,
right.
Travis.
Well done,
But-
Travis.
Since everybody thinks that we hate each other, I sent
Which
you guys
we do. Oh,
a
wait,
gift.
no.
Yeah. He sent
Well,
us
I like
gifts.
you, Tom. It's just
I know.
Joel.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
has a problem with Joel. You
It's
know,
because he doesn't play in tournaments.
I know.
Because
No.
that's why most people hate people. It's because they don't play in tournaments.
that's
Yeah.
true.
It's hard to
True.
relate. We're supposed to be in the same hobby, but it's almost like we're from two
There's-
different worlds. You
it's
know,
like
There's a
we-
division. There's
Yeah.
going to be a civil war one day.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
Points
choose
matter.
sides, Joel.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's already brewing.
yeah. Well, Travis messaged us and he goes, "Hey, I found a really good pinball gift. I'm sending it to both of you guys. So we both have gifts here. We
Do
don't
you
know
have
what
your
they
boxes?
are. I have a
Mine's
box.
wrapped by Amazon.
Yeah, Tom has a.
Good.
So check out this. Here's your ASMR. There you go. Cardboard box opening. So
Do-
here we go. I'm
Do,
opening mine.
do we open it now?
This is
Yeah.
from Travis, correct?
Yes, it's from me. Joel, you're going. Hang on, you're going way faster than Tom.
I'll slow down.
I think I know what this is.
Yeah. He took a dump in a bag, and no, I think Travis both. I think he got
Oh,
each
it's
one
so
of us
soft.
a comfy.
It's a comfy.
I think we both have an original comfy now.
There you
Mine's-
go.
Mine's blue.
Yeah, so is mine. Yeah.
So is mine. Look at that.
Oh,
All three of
Lord.
us got the same color.
Well, Travis,
How
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you
Now
for
when
this.
we go to Cleepin
Joel?
together, we
Yeah.
have to put these
It-
on.
Well, no. Like if Joel's really thankful for it, he'll put it on now.
That's
Okay,
true.
so we're gonna
Right?
take. Okay, so while we talk,
I don't want
or
to sweat
Travis,
to
what-
death.
I don't
So
want
I'm
to
gonna
either.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
Tom,
leave this-
you're good. You're good,
Oh,
Tom.
thanks.
You're fine.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. It's Joel.
You
It's
just
Joel
want me to
who's-
put it on.
He needs to put
Okay.
his on. Yeah,
This everybody's just gonna hear crinkling bags and whatnot. All right,
Hey, it's okay.
this is vacuum sealed, but
Just
All right,
Do we have
so-
a Jolie like song we could play right now?
okay, Jolie. Yeah, so Zach had me on the pinball show, and to be honest, I'm 34 years old. I've never in my life ever had somebody actually say that, like the Jolie song, and apparently it's catching on. But
It's kind of
Alright.
bizarre.
all right, now here's another ASMR zip for you.
Ooh.
That was the hoodie coming off, everybody.
What does your shirt say? I'm what?
I'm percusizing. it's from
Is that from
Heavyweights.
Heavyweights?
Yeah. All right. Well, talk amongst
Buddy.
yourself while I take off my headphones and put this on.
Tom, have you ever seen Heavyweights?
No.
It's such a great movie.
All right, now I
Oh,
got to
you-
put it in my bank of
Yeah.
movies to watch.
Oh yeah, you got to watch it. I mean, preferably with a couple of margaritas. But my God, that movie, it's hilarious.
Oh, wow. Joel looks like he's ready for a thunderstorm right now.
All right. So it is
Now,
large. You
I
weren't
did-
kidding.
I did see Zach on your stream, or I guess technically on his stream, but he was sweating to death in your house. I
I
can't
don't-
imagine you wearing that right
No.
now.
It's going to be a sweat ball. I just wanted to make sure it fit. You know,
It fits. What I will
That's-
say is
that's my
it is
gift.
large. There's no denying it is a large hoodie. But to my surprise, it's not crazy long. Now, I am a taller individual, but man, does it have width. Like, no wonder.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
parachute on you.
I will definitely bring this to a show. We
Fit-
need a picture with the
Fits
three
up
of us
to
wearing it.
5 double X.
But yeah,
It's okay, Joel. If you get hot, just start flapping it. It's
No,
fine.
I got to take it back off. It's already too hot.
Travis,
Tom,
this is for you.
I drank a beer.
All right. Okay. Well,
hang on,
Travis,
Joel.
thank
We're,
you.
we're
Drink another
Joel. We're
beer.
doing a bit. Hang on.
3 beers. 4 beers. Oh no. 5 beers. 6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers. And a Bloody Mary.
That's Travis right there.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Sorry, Joel. We're trying to bring you back
I was
into
trying
our
to
little
fill in
triangle.
airtime.
Yeah, you did it. Nailed it. Yeah,
Okay,
I could
perfect.
barely hear that, so I'll have to have to jack it up in post. But, Travis, thank you for that. I to be honest, I'm pretty sure my daughter, or definitely my wife, is going to probably live in that. So I appreciate that. That is a very kind gesture and a gesture of goodwill. I feel like you're I don't know, you're opening the arms to a friendship. You know,
I've
Thank you.
turned a new leaf.
Thank you,
I mean, that-
Travis.
Those
I
2
wish you-
emails made me realize the error of my ways.
Now,
I
if
wish
you
you'd
just
turn
find my TPN hats,
So
One step
Tom,
at a time.
Yeah, I gave Tom wasn't at Texas Pinball Festival, so I gave Tom's hats, which he bought, to Travis, saying, "Hey, you're going to see Tom in like 2 weeks. Can you take these to him?" Yeah, sure. Hasn't happened. That was like what 6 months ago or something at this point. And
yeah,
you've
I
seen each
also
other
won a
multiple times.
hat on Loser Kid like 6 months ago, and I have not seen it. Yet I think Travis has this.
Travis
He
has,
probably has my
Travis.
hat.
You know what? Okay, since we're going to talk about winning things and never seen them, I think I won something from your stream, Tom, back when I think it was Poor Man's was doing the commentary during the first Pinskins.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
That's all.
Never saw
District
anything.
82.
And I could have swore I won something from, what was it? From the Avengers Infinity Quest tournament thing, the Pin Clash from Carl. Carl, if you're listening, I thought I won cards or something. I forget. I don't remember if I got
Did you
those or
ever
not. I
send
don't
him
know.
your address?
I did, I think.
Oh.
I'm just coming up with stuff in my head. I should just start making up stuff
Yeah,
along the line.
Travis is-
Stern, if you guys
I
are listening,
win.
Zach
like-
Money,
Too much
I was
stuff.
on your flipping out,
Yeah.
and I won a new inbox
I'm a
Stern,
winner.
and I still haven't received it.
I don't know, I feel
Shame.
no sympathy for
Shame.
you.
All right, so
Anyways.
Joel, how did Toy Story 4 go? Because
Great question.
I heard you played with somebody named Zach Mini,
Yeah.
right? And is on a stream.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody got to the wizard mode on game 1.
Sure did.
Was it you?
No, it was not me. So here's the deal. So normally Zach, when he swaps out games, he usually does it like we've done it really weird times. It's always like on his way up to Chicago or back, and it's usually kind of a quick exchange. Well, this time, just based off of what was going on, it was like, hey, I can exchange this later in the evening. And then if it makes sense, I was like, you should stay and stream. He's like, oh yeah, that sounds like a really good time. So I was very happy that he did that. He actually stayed and streamed the game. And what was funny is before we started the stream, Zach was making some comments. He's like, man, I really just think the current portrayal of this game is like unfair. You know, a lot of people, podcasters or other streamers are just saying this game's too easy. The code's too shallow. He's like, I've been playing the heck out of this game and I have not gotten anywhere near the wizard mode. So, you know, when your buddy Travis says that it's a piece of cake to get to the wizard mode, like it makes me feel like a schmuck. Like, why am I not getting there? But he's like, I think the game's challenging. So talking to him, it's like, he's like, I hope tonight's stream kind of shows, you know, and that the game, there's more here and it's not just something that you're going to, you know, Carl D'Angelo loop the thing 5 times and be bored of it after 2 hours. So this was all a conversation we had before we started. I had put like literally like 3 balls essentially on playing the game. Like I just enough to make sure it was level and even. And then we were running late. Like I had to get everything set up for the stream. So I had put no time on the game at all. And neither had Zach. And so we fire the stream up and we're like, all right, let's go. You know, he's like, I'll go first, kind of explain a little bit. So we had like a normal ball 1. I had a normal ball 1, like my first play of the game. Then ball 2 rolls around and everything just fell into place. Like for one of the mystery awards on the wheel is it's endless ball save on the left out lane. So endless kickback. So he got that early on. So he probably drained
unlimited kickback.
Unlimited, yeah. So
there we go. There's that word, Joel. I knew you were going to find
endless,
it. I'm just trying to be a great friend and just help you find the words that you had.
Thank you. I don't want to sound dumb by saying the wrong word, so I really
no,
appreciate
it's
Travis
okay.
correcting me like that.
You
Yeah.
are a very intelligent individual, Joel. You're at least the 3rd most intelligent one in this
I'm in the top
conversation
3
right now.
I'm in the top 3.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
So unlimited kickback. So he got that early on. So I mean, every single time the ball went out the left out lane, boom, you know, ball comes flying back in. And it just, everything kind of fell into place for him. So to get to that wizard mode, there's 7 things you have to accomplish. And he did. I mean, in that one ball, he did all the things. And now, to his credit, that game that we played lasted over an hour. So it's not like it just like happened in 10 minutes. It's like it was quite a game. And you know, he blew it up on ball 2, and then I went. My ball 2 lasted like a minute and a half, and then it was his ball 3, or he had he had a few extra balls. So it all worked out for him. And so we checked the credits afterwards. Like he had almost 100 plays on the game in the few weeks that he's had it in his possession, and he's never been there. So it's just one of those, like, that game was the 1 out of 100 where everything kind of came together and he got to the wizard mode. So what was funny is when the stream ended, he's like, he's like, I'm screwed. He's like, I'm going to get so much crap from Travis and Dennis and other people who I've been defending that the game's too like not as easy as they think it is. And here I am, one game. So yeah, my initial stream of Toy Story, I think I played the game for like 4 minutes and Zach blew it up. So yeah, my initial impression was I didn't get much time on it, but I will say over the course of the last week, my wife actually played the game. She saw Toy Story, walked up to it on her own, hit the start button and played the game. She has not done that with Godzilla. She didn't do it with GNR. She just like, so that, I mean, theme is something, right? And my daughter actually wants to play this game. Like to say, hey, do you want to go play Toy Story? She gets excited. And my daughter's 4 and she'll sit on a stool in front of me or beside me. And she does the plunger and just like, she likes watching the game. She likes seeing the characters, seeing Forky. So I can tell you right now, this game's already more liked by my wife and daughter than any other game that's ever come through here. And I will say, I personally am having a good time with it. I'm having a lot of fun. I streamed it last night. The best that I got out of 7 things that you have to accomplish, I got 5. I got 5 out of 7 on my first stream. The 2 that I didn't get were the kaboom ramps and the loops, the Bo Peep loops.
I thought it was going to be Forky and the loops.
Forky, I was killing it. Forky's actually a really cool task because you have to spell Forky, which kind of happens on its own. But then you hit the left ramp, but then it's a combo. It's left ramp to kaboom ramp to scoop. And it's one shot. Like if you miss any of those, so you have to boom, boom, boom right in a row. And I will say it's very satisfying when you hit those 3. I mean, it's kind of a moment. It feels good. But the kaboom ramp is like you have to hit, I don't know how many, it's like 10 or something. So you just have to keep hitting them and you get ample opportunities to do it, but it's definitely a shot that you have to get dialed in. And that's something that I know Zach, he knew it. Like he'd played the game enough. He knew exactly where it was on that flipper. So he rarely missed it when he was given the opportunity to get it. I think I'm maybe at like 50% now, but I've improved even over the streaming it last night. So it's once you find that shot, I would assume getting your kaboom ramps would be relatively easy. But the Bo Peep loops is a challenge. And the reason it's a challenge is when you're hitting the loops before you get super loops, it's worth nothing. Like you get nothing towards that goal. So you have to get super loops, which is it's one of the wheel. It's like a mystery thing on the wheel. So basically you get your wheel lit and you look and it's like 2 times bonus X. I don't want that. So you hit the captive ball, you spin again. Tiki party multiple. I don't want that. You hit the captive ball again. So you keep spinning the wheel and then Bo Peep loops finally shows up. You're like, awesome. Well, now I have to hit the upper loop to activate it. Well, there's only 2 ways to feed the upper, or 3 ways to feed the upper loop. You either have to lock a ball and plunge, or you have to hit the pops and hope it comes out on the right, or you have to hit the woody saucer, which will feed it to the upper loop, but the woody saucer is right next to the captive ball. So if you're off that shot at all, you just hit the captive ball and you just spun the wheel again and you're back in that. So when I played it last night and I got my 5 out of 7, I was like, okay, Bo Peep loops. So I just felt like I was kind of grinding away at the wheel, trying to get to super loops and then finally get it done. So that's the only one that I feel is kind of a grind. And Tom, it doesn't sound like you knew that, but Travis, you've obviously already blown this game up. So you're probably well aware of that.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, I mean, Joel, you kind of hit the nail on the head though with what this game is. And what this game is, and we talked about this before, and this is pretty much the final time that we need to say it. They were clear on their marketing and their advertising that this was a family pin, that they wanted everybody to see the whole pin. They want people to be able to get deep into the game to see everything that there is to see. And so naturally, it doesn't really surprise me that happened on day 1 with you and Zach, somebody getting to the wizard mode. I mean, I halfway expected it. And that's what I was telling you before that, I'd be surprised even if you didn't get there within like 2 weeks. I mean, if you play it enough,
yeah,
you're going to get there. You're going to find it. And that's just the way it was designed to be. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to that. But one of the pros to it is just like we talked about, regardless of how we feel about Toy Story 4, there's still going to be a lot of people out there that see Toy Story and that still overrides everything. I mean, I can tell you guys straight up, that overrides everything for my family here. And that's why we still have it. I mean, Monica will not let us let that go at all. So it's like, it's going to be here for a little while just because of what it is, because it's just the ease of access to it and the fact that it does have some Toy Story elements to it. So they enjoy that. And this is the first time that Monica's even said that she feels like that she has a chance to get to the wizard mode. So it's kind of like happy wife, happy life. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with it, but it sounds like you're kind of experiencing the same thing, Joel.
It's definitely accessible. And that's something I think what I came to was when Zach drops off a game, normally it takes me time. Like it takes me, I don't know, multiple weeks of streaming it, or at least a few weeks of playing it to really find every shot in the game. And that's like Rush. The left orbit through the pops, like that shot, I struggled with that shot for a long time until I finally found it and was much more comfortable in it. Normally, most games have at least one or two shots where it really takes me some time and playing to finally find where that shot is on the flipper and feel confident hitting it. I didn't have that. I don't really have that problem with Toy Story. Every shot in the game, I was able to find quickly. And so that's where I understand the layout is very friendly. It's very friendly to novice players or even just middle range players. You're going to feel like you're better at pinball when you play the game because the shots are like easy to hit. Left ramp is something that you have to hit a good bit. That left ramp is very kind to people. What's up?
Now,
Travis?
the question is, are you going to put the metal flippers on Toy Story?
I have no idea. I don't know. I would consider it just to see, but do I feel like I don't know. Like, sure,
I mean, we
got to
get you there. You talked these flippers up last time like they're on steroids, that you could hit everything on Ninja Turtles. So I need you to put those flippers on.
And then just crush everything.
I need you to take the out lanes, put them all the way down.
Yeah.
Like, let's get the kitty bumpers just all the way up and the training wheels. We got to get you there.
I think so.
Calm
I
down,
will,
Travis.
What I will say is,
we got to do it. We got to get them to a wizard mode. I am determined.
Okay.
Do you see what this is? This is a rubber. I took.
That looks like a roofie.
I took.
Yeah, what are you doing there, Joel?
So on the you know how you have the two in lanes on the left side?
Yes.
There was actually a rubber on that post. And the number of times that the ball would go over, hit that rubber, and then bounce up and just straight out in the out lane, like I was just getting wrecked by this rubber.
Were you doing nudging?
I would, but I'm just it was so frustrating
What's
last night
that?
to the point where
Joel's like, you can shake the pin?
No, what I just think's crazy is like my Deadpool, there are no rubbers on the outlane posts. There's none. And like it was shipped that way. And the thing is, if you want to make it easier on yourself, you could add them. But what I found is taking this off was actually way better because the number of times that the ball would kind of like hit that post and then bounce up instead of going down an in lane, it would bounce up and straight out the out lane. It was just like, no, so taking that one rubber off really helped things. And then I ended up, the majority of time that I'm draining this game, it's left and right. And it's almost always from the slings. So I actually increased the back legs after I streamed last night, just because I want more vertical and less horizontal movement. And we're going to see how that goes. So I'm messing with the game, but I will say, I mean, even just streaming it last night, I had plenty of games that were short, quick games, less than 1 million points. And then I had a few where I started comboing things together, and Forky is something that is enjoyable. I like Forky. I think it's a fun combo. I like it.
No, it's a fun combo. It's just, I'm never going to say Forky's enjoyable though, Joel.
Well, Road Trip multi-ball, it's literally 4 shots. Just hit a drop target and then lock 4 balls. The Buzz Lightyear multi-ball is kind of just keep 3 ball. Yeah. 4 shots, you lock 3 balls.
Details.
The Buzz Lightyear multi-ball.
Third smartest one on the podcast.
I am top three. Okay. Yeah.
Out of 3.
So the Buzz Lightyear multi-ball, if you hit it enough in the pops, you'll just kind of get it. The carousel multi-ball is the only one that you really actually have to progress towards. Like you have to play 2 carnival modes and then lock a ball and then do 2 more carnival modes and then lock a ball and then another carnival mode. And then you can start it. Like that actually takes multiple steps to get to. Forky is pretty quick once it's lit. The super spinners, I mean, it just kind of happens. Like that's not a grind. Like it just kind of happens. And then that just leaves the Bo Peep loops in the...
How do you do super spinners?
You just hit the spinner. So you hit the spinner in the upper loop which is the Bo Peep spinner, or you hit the Woody spinner, which is right in front of the saucer. Like,
And how do you finish super spinners?
oh, I have no idea.
Oh, you just hit the
Hit
spinners.
the spinners.
Oh, you just hit them more? Oh, okay. What I found is almost every time
Number 3 of 3.
Every time I've ended up collecting it, and it's almost always been in a multi-ball, which makes sense. So it's just top 3. Top three. You know, the way you're phrasing it, Travis, sounds kind of mean. I'm not saying you're being mean.
Hey, we've
Joel,
made it nearly 30
I was
minutes.
going to agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about your word. You know, me and my wife, we talk a lot about the words that we use and the phrasing and the way that information is delivered to each other. Our tone.
Wait, you and your wife talk about what now?
Words, phrasing, tone.
You talk about words and phrasing and tone?
Yeah, like.
Oh, is this
when
like when you're screwing up? Is that what we're talking about right now?
Oh yeah, it definitely feels one-sided now that you pointed out. Yeah, no, it's like, hey, do you want this for dinner? And I say sure. Sure is not nearly as well received as like, oh, that sounds great.
I mean, we can totally take a left turn of this podcast and go away from pinball and just talk about your relationship.
Nah, I don't.
I mean, we had mom issues a couple
I don't need
episodes
marriage
ago.
counseling
So.
from Travis. I don't need that. Yeah. So I don't know. To wrap up Toy Story 4, I will say my overall impression, I'm enjoying the game. If you have a large collection, or if it's hard from a money standpoint. Do I think it's a $12,000 game? No. I mean, there's a lot more game out there. I mean, people are sick of hearing it, but like Godzilla Premium, $9,000. There's a whole lot more in Godzilla than there is in Toy Story, both mechanically and code-wise. But if you want Toy Story for your kids, your wife, your grandkids, it's Toy Story. Like it does that well. It is a fun game. And I don't know, it can kind of lead us into our next topic, which is like...
Hold on, quick question, Joel.
Yeah.
All right. You have to choose. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Rush or Guns N' Roses? What are you keeping?
Well, I know the answer. I know my answer. My immediate answer was Toy Story, but I know that's going to piss both of you guys off.
It's
No,
not making me mad.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
To me,
I am so proud of you right now, Joel, because you're not sitting on the fence. You actually picked a side. Tom, do we have hand claps for that?
Yeah.
timing. Oh, thank you. That was seamless. You're a lot better with the curse word button. You're on point with that.
I can't believe you picked a side. That's just
No,
that blows my mind. I thought for sure, Tom, he was going to answer, oh, I don't know. I mean,
It was almost leading into that.
No,
I thought it was.
I've told you before, my collection is heavily influenced by games that I want, that I'm going to enjoy, that also my friends and family would enjoy. And between
you mean
those
like
three
everybody's
games,
collection?
but no, I've definitely met friends that they're like, I don't buy games for other people. I buy them for me. Like that's their view.
Those are your single friends.
But I get it. I mean, I understand that my friends and family will never be as passionate about pinball as I am. That's not going to happen. But it makes me happy that I had a game that my wife played on her own, or that my kids actually want to watch play. And I'm sorry, Rush did not have that, and neither did GNR. Now, I had fun on those games, but I will be very interested if you ask me the same question in 3 weeks once I've gotten to the wizard mode. You know, that's a unique experience for me. There's only a handful of games that I've gotten to the wizard mode, and yeah, once you do it one or more times.
Wait, hold up. Did you just say you've been to a wizard mode before?
Yes, I have.
On what game? EMs don't count.
NBA Fast Break. I had an NBA Fast Break, and I got to the point where every single time I streamed it, I could get a ring. Every time.
Bullshit.
Okay. I will send you a video.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
So yes, I had that game figured out. I loved it. And it's once you start, but this is not, I understand this will be hard for you guys to relate to because you guys can blow up every game you play. But
It's not
to
true.
have a game in your collection
Yeah,
where
have you
there's
ever
always
played Cosmos? My God.
where there's always something that you haven't quite achieved, but just is like right there, it's motivating. That's what keeps me coming back to it. And if I ever have a game where I just like, okay, I've seen everything in the game, every time I play it's somewhat similar, like it's probably not going to last in my collection. So I have no idea if Toy Story, if I actually do get to the wizard mode more than once before it's gone, I may be completely turned off by the game. I don't know. But for right now, between those three, I would pick Toy Story. I'm not going to sit here though. If you want to play a game, like which game has the best code? I'm not going to say Toy Story is the answer. I'm just saying which one would make sense in my collection right now.
Tom.
Toy Story.
Tom, he's going to totally change his answer next time we record.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I changed my answer. Like GNR, I know the first time that I talked about GNR, I was head over heels. And as I had that game longer and longer, things changed. And I get it. I mean, that's exactly the same journey that the two of you guys went through when you guys had GNR.
I feel
What
like
do you
and
call
GNR.
that? Is that like the
Yeah.
new in
Honeymoon?
box
Honeymoon
honeymoon
phase.
stage?
It's called an abusive relationship, Tom. I mean, at first, Joel didn't like the game. And then
GNR?
Yeah, the first time you played it.
I liked you. No, GNR, I was blown
No,
away.
no. You went
Rush was
in
the
a
one.
full rant on this
Hold on.
podcast.
About
Yeah.
what?
About GNR the first time you played it
When
with
you
your
and
friends.
your brother went to play it, right?
Oh,
Adam?
okay. When the first time
See?
I played it,
Tom, abusive relationship.
No.
He's totally in denial with what he knew before.
the
This
first
is why
time
we're
I
his
played.
friends. We need to have an intervention right now.
Oh my goodness! The first time I played GNR was at an arcade. You couldn't hear it, and I had no idea what I was doing. That's very different than
Look at
the
this.
first
Now
time
he's
you've had it in your
justifying.
house.
He's justifying now.
That's like
seen
a bad.
this.
That's like a
I've seen
bad
this on
first date
YouTube.
versus actually, Yeah, it just. All right, I'm clearly not going to make any progress on this one, but
No. It's fine. You know, you didn't like it, and you totally forgot about that. Then you loved it,
Yep,
and
I
then you
dismissed
kind of
it,
didn't love it, and then you're just going back and forth. You just keep teasing this relationship with GNR, and now you're dating another pin with freaking Toy Story. You just.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
she
I'm telling you,
basic.
Tom.
Let me tell you,
He's
You're-
gonna get.
You're gonna
GNR
come back
again.
to Rush, and you're just gonna have to apologize to get
I
Rush
know.
back.
I know. No, I need to try a premium. Then I know it's very interesting in the Discord and the different chats that we have that and this kind of to kind of go to the next segment about code, but it's like Stern. I know the three of us come off as Stern fanboys, but like they do a whole lot right. So they may not have nearly as flashy of a game as JJP, or may not put nearly as much time into, I don't know, the cosmetic side of it or the light show or all the bling and all that. But it's just the one thing Stern crushes is code. And their code is
And
just
getting games out.
yes, they actually deliver games that you buy. And the code is just it's always good. And that's something that what I found is some of these games really are super appealing because of the way they look and your first few experiences, but then you realize the code just isn't there, or it's shallow, or it's just not exciting, or you don't have the moments, and then you kind of fall out of love with it. But I just think Stern is so consistent, and maybe this is a bad transition, but we actually had a question here, and in our Discord chat, and it's prompted, but it's just like, what is it about a game code wise that like really makes a game stand out or stay in your collection? And I don't think depth is necessarily the right answer, because some people have been really hard on Toy Story 4 saying there's not enough depth in the game, but yet we had somebody in TPN that's like, there's just as much depth in Deadpool as there is in Toy Story, and yet people love Deadpool. So why is that? There are people that they love Deadpool, but it's not in their collection because they could beat it every single time they play it. But yet they still really like Deadpool. So I don't know. I've talked a lot. I talked a lot about Toy Story 4. So Tom, if you want to take this, go for it before Travis just talks out of his butt.
I pass.
Well, thank you, Tom Graf. I appreciate that. Well, Joel, you have a Deadpool.
Yep.
Like, you tell us, what do you like about Deadpool?
Well, I don't know. How do I sit on this fence? What do I like about Deadpool? I like that I like the direction. That's the one thing that I personally am a fan of. You're in a moment, like when you're in a battle, you know what you need to do. I'm in this battle. I need to do this to get out of the battle. And then as soon as you're out of the battle, then you're back to, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to hit shots to this? Do I want to do this? Like, it's like you have to make a decision, but then once you made that decision, you have a clearly defined path to follow for a while until you beat it or not. And then you get back. And there are other games that are just so open-ended at every moment. It's just like, it's hard for me to focus. And then you have other games that are super linear. Like, you only have one path to go. And if you're playing the same first step of the path every single time you hit start, that kind of gets old, because I don't want to see the same top, first 20-30% every single time I play the game. So I like some direction. I mean, that is something I am enjoying in Toy Story, is once you're in carnival mode, you know what you need to do. Oh, Forky's lit right now. I know right now I have to focus on this, or right now I have to focus on that. But that's what I like about Deadpool. I feel like you have a lot of options that you can switch between what battles you want to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like Turtles, one thing I don't like about Turtles is you don't get to pick your episode. When you start the episode, it just gives you one. Now you do. There
Unless
are
you're
two
Raphael.
targets. What?
Unless you're Raphael.
No, so Raphael is you don't have to hit your ramps before you start an episode, but the two targets in front of the left ramp, if you hit those targets, you can technically pick your episode.
You can change it. Yeah.
You can change your episode. Just like in Stranger Things. Technically, you can change your episode in Stranger Things with the pop bumpers in the back corner. But that's not really controlled. Or it's not easily controlled, but
maybe for you, Joel.
But for Deadpool, like, you get to pick your episode. So it's very much like, I'm sick of playing Sabretooth. Let me focus on this. Or I have these power-ups. Let me focus on that. Or I like that. I really enjoy that more than just like, I don't know, rolling the dice and seeing what you get.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the things too, when everybody was talking about it and comparing Toy Story 4 to Deadpool, it's just kind of like, to me, there's really not any comparison, because in Deadpool,
comparing apples to oranges.
Well, more like maybe like an apple to a grape. I don't know. It's like, because in Deadpool, right, you have all these other options that you can do to get to the same place. You have your team ups. You have 4 different team ups, right? And you can bring in all 4 of those if you want to, or one, or none. You can choose to use whatever mode that you want to, or whatever battle that you want to do, right? And then from there, you can choose whether or not you're going to do little Deadpool multi-ball or not. Like, a lot of people like doing certain stacks on that game. And that's the great thing about Deadpool, is you have many different stacks that you can do, and they're all viable. I mean, you could just go disco if you wanted to. I've seen people do disco all day before. I've seen that. I've seen people choose just to do, the T-Rex mode, to where they just do hurry up collects. I've seen people opt for going for snick shots to try to get to 3x, 5x, whatever, just to blow things up.
But you're talking about points. But even if you talk about just working your way through the game, it's not a clearly defined path.
Then we can say even working through the game, because you still got to play everything. Yeah. So then you can make choices on how quickly you want to do that. You can bring in Wolverine for double damage, and then you can choose to go Sabretooth and put it into the pops. To get it done quick. You can choose to use your booms at different places to make the modes go quicker, or just to get you an easier shot sequence. I mean, there's so much that you can do in Deadpool that leads to choice. And that's my big gripe with Toy Story. It doesn't really feel like I have choice. It just feels like I'm playing my 7 modes.
Choose your carnival mode before you start it?
No.
You can't.
It tells you what it's going to be.
And I think you can basically switch it based on how many tickets you have. I think if you have enough tickets, it'll take it to your top tier.
How do you get tickets?
Don't quote me on that.
Shoot the ramps.
Yeah.
Shoot the ramps.
But you've pointed out before, the carnival modes in Toy Story, there's not a defined link of like, oh, this carnival mode is going to give me this perk. So at the end, when you beat a carnival mode, you can do a character collect, and the different characters give you different perks. But it's totally random. So if you're telling yourself like, hey, before I play Carnival Multi-Ball, I want to have Duke Kaboom, because Duke Kaboom is auto restart. So if you drain out, you get to keep going. If that's like your goal, you have no control over actually getting him. You might or you might not.
I mean, you have a little bit. You got to do some stuff. Like, you got to hit that loop, and that'll relight your left end lane.
To collect the Duke Kaboom character?
Yeah, it'll relight it.
But I'm saying the character collect at the end of
where you have to do like 5 in a row.
No, it's when you complete a mode, you get a character. Mm-hmm. Duke Kaboom's one of those characters. Right. Now this is something I don't know is right. At least last time I played, Duke Kaboom was auto reset. I have no idea if next time I play the game, if I collect the character Duke Kaboom, he may not be auto reset. I don't know. That's the rare thing of it. Like one of the modes is milk jugs or something, where you're throwing a ball. Yep. So like, it's not like milk jugs. Every time you beat it, you get Jesse. That's not a thing. So it's you could get any character. It doesn't.
Right. Characters aren't tied to certain modes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
it's-
where
yeah.
and that goes back to one of the things about rules is pattern recognition. And that's what a lot of tournament players rely on. And so that's kind of what threw me off when I first started playing Toy Story, is I realized that it didn't really seem like anything was tied into each other, to where if I did this, I knew this was going to happen, or I was going to get this. Like I wasn't going to get the sequence that I wanted in order to collect what I needed to advance me further in the game. And so I mean, I don't know. There might be something there that I just need to pay attention closer, but I find myself on Toy Story just basically choosing to play through the game and then just take what it's giving me at that time, rather than setting any one thing up, just because it doesn't really seem like that there's a ton to set up, because you can get, like you talked about this earlier, Joel, you can finish your spinners, right? And then that you just got to keep hitting ramps to eventually get enough tickets to start one of your carnival modes on that left ramp. And then that you're going to hit the captive ball to spin the wheel and get something started there. So, I mean, really the only time that I find myself doing anything truly strategic on there is just deciding, okay, when am I going to decide it's finally time to rescue Forky? Which I usually save that for last. Because Forky just sucks. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I find myself even playing the carnival stuff, I don't really pay attention to what power-ups I have and all that. I just don't worry about it. And that's why I talked about this too on the Discord, that I was hoping that after beating everything, you would get something out of that. You know what I mean? Like some kind of feature, some kind of like, I don't know, not like a secret mode, but just anything. And it didn't really seem like anything happened other than the normal way that the game is supposed to operate.
Yeah. I mean, Zach beat the mini wizard mode, which was then you technically starting over. You have to do all 7 things again. Apparently each one's a little harder. And then you have to get to the wizard mode again to like actually officially beat the game. But when he reset, it just seemed like we're like, okay, it's back to square one. But to me right now, the only thing that I'm seeing when I hit start, the only thing that I'm trying to ask myself is how early do I want to focus on trying to get super loops on the wheel? Because it's interesting when the wheel's lit, it's like, oh, extra ball's lit. Should I take that right now? Or should I try to spin the wheel again and go for super loops? Or hey,
always just take the extra ball.
I normally always like the extra ball makes way more sense in my world, but like the outlane ball save, that's something where it's like unlimited kickback. Should I take that or should I hit the captive ball? Like, because super loops, you kind of want to get that as soon as possible because you need to work away. You need to chip away at all 15 of those you have to get. So if you get to ball 3 and you haven't even started that, it's like, okay, buckle up here. I'm going to have to grind away to see if I can get to this. But I don't know. We are like, I still feel like we're somewhat early in the code, but yet the code very much so feels, if they said it's complete, I could understand it being complete. Like there is a full game there, but yet I am curious to see how or if Joe Katz, like how he potentially changes or adapts to this code one way or the other, based on feedback. But hey, if the goal at the end of the day was make a game that's accessible to the general public, they crushed it. It's a game that's easy to shoot, clearly defined objectives, and it's freaking Toy Story. Like people are gonna love this game. Maybe not you two as top 25 players, but there's a lot
26.
of people that will top 30
20.
players. There you go. So I don't know. I'm excited to play it more, but I will say maybe I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I do actually think that the wizard mode is within my reach before Zach swaps it out for another game. And take that as you will, as whether or not that's a game worth owning in your collection. But I would say if you have it in your collection, there's a good chance your friends and family or your kids, they're all probably going to really enjoy it because it's Toy Story 4.
What did your daughter say, Travis?
So, because I was telling Monica in front of them, I was like, hey, we need to consider selling Toy Story. Let's just go ahead and let's move on to the next game. And then Monica's like, no, I think I want to keep it. And then my daughter spoke up and she was like, yeah, I want to keep it too. Let's just sell Godzilla. Yeah, that's what I said. And I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap. But, I mean, before everybody freaks out, my daughter's also 6 and has asked Santa Claus to take her legs away so she can be a mermaid too. So she's not exactly the best judgment on what we should have in our pinball collection.
So she takes more after her dad than her mom. That's what I'm hearing.
That's fair.
I get it. It's a weird thing. I mean, just being a pinball owner or potential collector, it's a weird, like, I love the games I have, but I feel like I constantly in my head, you have this battle of, is there a better game? Is there a game that I would potentially enjoy more? Is there a game that my family would potentially enjoy more? Like, what is your perfect collection? What is there? Will you ever
Elwyn pin?
Every Elwyn pin, yeah. Would you ever, as a collector, will you ever be satisfied with your collection? Because games keep coming. So having that in your head, it's a struggle. I mean, this is what I'm saying about rule set, though. And I know there was a quote that somebody said in our Discord, and they just said, because people argue pinball moments versus rules. I know Zach is huge on moments and versus code. It's like, I don't care about the code. I don't care about jackpots. I don't care about this or that. All I care about is the moments. All I care about is progression. And there was somebody in our Discord that basically said, the best code has great moments that reward you with good points. Like, make the moments worth a lot of points. And that's what's going to be the most enjoyable. If you just have a moment that's worth nothing, it's going to get old really quick. But they should work hand in hand. And I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that comment? Tom's thinking, I can tell.
Tom, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't get the whole moments thing. I mean, I get it, but it's just, once you see it, it's kind of like, okay, the moment's gone. Well, I want to keep the moments going, and I think some of that's with deeper code, but that's just my opinion.
Maybe that's, maybe a moment's unique. Like, sometimes a moment, obviously, like Godzilla, the building going down, that's a moment. Like, that's a cool thing. Now, I understand you guys have both, dropped that building like 100 plus times. So watching it move probably doesn't mean much to you.
Right. One of the greatest moments in pinball is probably the Addams Family. When Thing comes out, grabs that ball, takes it, but to me, it's not a great moment anymore because I've seen it 550 million times.
Yeah.
So
what about
what Tom's saying is we need more, Joel. We need more pinball and it needs to come out.
Well,
manufacturers, everybody listening, just keep producing pinball. That way Tom can keep having his new moments.
That's right.
I think,
where the hell's the next Stern?
It's, well, hopefully coming, but I think, but like moments now, like light shows really impact moments. Audio or audio cues really really make moments. Even like Avengers, when the Hulk spinner is, what is that? Gamma blast or whatever. It's the gamma ray. Is that
there
it?
You go.
Gamma ray. Got it. When that's lit, like the amount of attention and choreography of making that shot, like you need to hit this shot, and then ripping a spinner feels good, but ripping a spinner when that whole sound, is building up and you feel timed and pressure and light show, they made that a moment. And if you do it right, it's worth good points. But otherwise, it's just, I mean, you hit the left orbit in that game all the time. And majority of the time when you hit it, it doesn't feel anything, but that they made that a moment.
So are the best moments audio and visual cues? Or are they some toy that's in the game? Because everybody wants toys.
Toys and mechs definitely help. And it's helped, like when you step up to Godzilla, you see that building, you're like, how do I get that to move? Like, how do I see that thing? Or you see an upper play field, you're like, how do I get to that? How do I want to see what that does? But I understand once you've seen what it does multiple times, it's not as enjoyable. But I agree. I think the cinematography, the light show, I mean, that's something I really like about JJP games is I really enjoy the light show. I think they kill it on that. And there's moments even like Tiki Ball or Tiki whatever multi-ball in this. It's virtual pinball.
Tiki Party.
Tiki Party multi-ball. I hate the virtual pinball part.
Number 3. of 3.
Sorry, I don't know the exact word. But anyways, I don't like
Send
the virtual
in your
pinball
complaints
part.
to tripledrain@gmail.com.
I don't enjoy the virtual pinball part. But once you get out of that and you're actually in the multi-ball, the light show is really cool. And you're trying to like explode this volcano. Like they make it kind of a cool experience because the game visually sounds and looks different than it normally does. I like it.
How do you like the sounds during Tiki Ball?
I like it. Like I think it's
you like the sounds during Tiki Party multi-ball?
Should I not like the
No,
sounds?
I'm just asking you.
I think it's a fun, enjoyable experience.
The sounds.
Apparently,
Not
the sounds
the-
are garbage. What am I hearing? Apparently now.
Travis
Here's the thing.
does not
it's a
like
fun,
the sounds.
This is I currently
I'm just
in my head.
asking because I'm making sure because you're talking about virtual pinball and then playing.
No.
I'm just making
The
sure we're very
virtual part-
specific.
the
we're talking
virtual
about
part
the
sucks.
sounds right now.
No, the virtual part sucks. But as soon as you get your switch hits and it actually starts an actual multi-ball on the table, like that, I enjoy. That part I like.
Okay,
Am I
so
allowed
you
to
like
like that?
you like the you can like whatever you want. You like the
Doesn't feel
multi-ball
like it.
part.
Yes.
No, I'm just making sure you understood. I was asking you about the sounds to it because you're just talking
Yes.
about the multi-ball part.
No,
I'm talking
that-
about audio.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. You know, when I was talking back to the Hulk spinner, that moment between the audio cues and the light show make that shot feel different than every other time you shoot that shot. And so
Gotcha.
in the
So we're-
Tiki Ball multi-ball, Tiki Party multi-ball, the whole all the light show is like a burning orange and red, and the sounds are different, and you're focusing on like it doesn't feel like you're in a carnival anymore. You have a volcano that you're fighting. Go ahead, Tom.
So we're talking moments, right? And you're talking visual and lighting, which I agree with. I mean, they pull you into the game, but like a game like Guns N' Roses, initially you were like, yeah, this is awesome, and then all of a sudden it was like you fell out of love with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my thing is, you know, what keeps you coming back to a game? What are the moments that just keep you coming back? See, I think for me, it's like trying to get to something, and then it's like, oh, I know I just needed one more shot. Now I'm going to try to go do it again.
Yeah.
It's literally games to where the journey is fun to get to the wizard mode.
Right.
For a home environment, that's what's fun. And this right
Wait,
here
you're
too.
a tournament player.
Well, yeah. See, Tom, you knew what I was about to say. We're going to dispel a myth right now, Joel Rogan. Here's the myth we're going to dispel. And every tournament player out there, especially every A-level tournament player, is going to get up out of their seats or probably pull their car over and get out and start cheering.
Nice, Tom.
Thank you,
Wow,
Tom.
he was
Perfect.
ready. Nice.
So,
Well done.
of course, in tournaments, all tournament players care about is points. But I promise you, in order to get to a wizard mode, it's not all about points. And a lot of people love getting to wizard modes, and you have to actually get through tasks. And those tasks have to be fun to do. The sequence that they're in, the stacks that are possible, bringing a multi-ball in, picking what path you want to go to, picking what mode you want to use, picking out different strategies, picking out how to use your extra balls. All of that comes in, and generally none of it has anything to do with points. Now, sometimes it does in some instances, but more or less, you just need to finish modes and you need to progress through the game. And that's the big difference. And that's what a lot of people need to understand, that when you're looking for a game for the home environment and you're wondering what could last long in your collection, those are the type of games from a modern standpoint that can last a long time in your collection. Now, when we're talking about moments in a pin, right, that will keep you coming back for more, now we're going to get a little bit deeper into it, because now we're talking about solid states or EMs, to where it has to have something fun in there in order to stay, because most of your solid states, they have a very shallow code. They're all very basic. I mean, some of them got nuance to it, no doubt, but at the end of the day, it needs to be fun. And a lot of them just have one or two shots that are just a lot of fun. Like take Paragon, for instance. The fun part in that is tap passing and then going to your inline targets or ripping the spinner. Take Meteor.
Build that
Fun-
bonus up.
Yeah, exactly. Meteor, ripping the spinner. That's fun. Even in a home environment, it can be fun. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's the big difference. So I think a lot of times when we're talking about what fun is today and what's fun for the home environment, and we're talking about from a modern pinball standpoint, the journey to the end has to be fun. And that's something that Elwin has figured out.
Yeah.
That's why besides the design and everything, the reason why a lot of high level players and everybody else praises the code is not just because it's balanced, but it's actually fun to explore the entire code. It's fun to play the whole thing. And that's not a depth thing, that's a breadth thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like this code is super wide because you can choose all kinds of different ways you want to go. And that's why Deadpool is that game right behind you, Joel. That's why a lot of people love the game as well, because you can choose to go through all kinds of different pathways and you can choose different stacks. And for me personally, that's what keeps me coming back to a game more than anything. I would be willing to bypass theme if that element is there. If the layout is fun and the rule set that is with it makes it fun to play, for me, that means a lot. And let's face facts, these pins, they're not cheap. So if you're paying out that type of money, you want entertainment that's going to last a long time.
Oh, not only that, but it's don't do that. He doesn't need that, Tom.
Joel, quit being a
It's like you guys have soundboards and you just you've had these for a long time, but well done. Your timing flawless right there, Travis.
Thank you, Joel.
Well,
I appreciate it, Joel. Thank you.
We've said this before, most pinball collectors, you either run out of money or you run out of space. And like for me, it's space. So it's
or sanity.
Yeah. What game justifies the space in my lineup? And to me, I want to have a game that I can tackle in different ways. And that's what, like, I like that about Turtles because I have 4 different Turtles I can pick from. I also have Half Shell Challenge. I also can go straight to the final battle. Like every time I hit start, I can choose different options of how I want to kind of conquer that game. You obviously kind of have that. We've been saying that a lot with Deadpool. Now, what surprised me though is like TNA, Total Nuclear Annihilation, somehow fits the bill, even though it's like the most linear game ever. But yet I still really enjoy it. Maybe because it really just gives me 2 options at any time. Am I focusing on the reactor or the multi-ball? That's it. That's enough for me to keep coming back. But we were talking about that earlier. Tom made the comment, like, I always feel like I'm one shot away from the next step, like that next goal. I can keep climbing up that ladder.
Yep.
And that's what keeps drawing me back.
I destroyed 4 reactors. I know I can do more.
I was right there. Or I'm on 5. If I could light 6, I get my extra ball. But I understand if I was Escher Lefkoff and I can just like every time I touch the game, I can get all 9 reactors.
You're talking about somebody who's on a high tier monk level. I don't a godlike level.
But they're
compared to the normal human being.
He's not normal. Yeah. What he can do though, I get it. There are some people though that if every time they play TNA they beat it, or they beat it, I don't know, 25% of the time they hit the start button, it may not be as enjoyable. But I don't know. There's code. Yes, it's a challenge. But I think one of the things that brought this up is people are criticizing the code in Toy Story. They're saying it's shallow, but realistically, like any game before 1995 had code that's shallower than this.
Well, that's the way that they meant for the game to be anyways, because they want it to be accessible and they want it to be understandable. There's nothing in the game. If somebody plays it for at least 10 games, you're going to know exactly what to do. But that in itself, though, there's pros and cons to that. Because the con to it, if you discover everything early on within the first 25 games, now you're playing with borrowed time to where how long are you going to play this and keep enjoying it?
Yeah.
And that's the difference between some of these other games. When you can pick and choose your stacks to do, that's what creates longevity, even if you know the rule set inside and out. Because it's almost like playing chess. You're choosing different openings.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. You're choosing different mid games. But I will say, though, the one thing about the code on Toy Story that I actually really do like, and I wish other coders would kind of adopt this, I do like that after, I think it's 3 plunges, that it'll just auto plunge it. So you can't stay up there all day long, measuring out a plunge, missing. And I do that all the time too. But I love that it puts the pressure on that you got to do this in 3 plunges, or it's just going to say, it's just going to say, F you, I'm launching the ball.
Yep.
We're going.
Yep.
So I would love that, because I've always had this idea for a design, and maybe you guys can tell me if this has been done already, but I've always wondered, what if you had a game to where you had two separate types of plunges, to where maybe you have like a couple plunges that you can do after a skill shot, but if it keeps coming in the shooter lane, guess what? Now that ball's not going to go up top. It's going to all of a sudden just auto plunge into like a Steve Ritchie, like off stand-up targets, and just be totally out of control because you spent so much time trying to measure it up and trying to hit some type of skill shot. Like, I always thought something like that would be cool, because you automatically have risk reward right at the start button before you even get the ball out there on the play field.
But you're saying the automatic plunge is a dangerous one, because obviously, like, Toy Story is the
I'm
opposite.
saying, like, imagine there's like some type of diverter in the shooter lane, to where it diverts instead of it going up top or hitting like maybe like a saucer or whatever it could be.
Sure.
Imagine instead of the Toy Story one, because if it auto plunges, you're not out of control. All it's doing is just saying, okay, you're taking too much time. I'm going to auto plunge this around. It's going to come around to your right flipper. Imagine
if it's Star Wars, it's going to put you out of
imagine
control.
there's a diverter, and it just goes and it just sends the ball completely out of control.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that would be cool to have on at the very beginning of a game.
It would be cool for a tournament player, but obviously, like, there's plenty of novice people that step up to a pinball machine and have no concept of even how to start.
They would just full plunge and swat anyways. They're not measuring up their plunge for a skill shot.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else about code? I mean, we could talk about code forever. It's everybody.
I love code. I love rules.
Yes, code is clearly
Joel. I love pinball rules.
I know you do.
You don't. No, Joel. I love pinball rules. Okay.
I know you do.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I just
You
don't
understand
know
me
that.
then. I understand. You see, we're able to communicate, and there's no tone or anything. I don't know what your wife's talking about you having a tone.
I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. No, I have a lot of respect for the designers out there, the coders out there, because this is what a tough job. What a tough job to use. You have to react to the design you're given, and you have to create a fun and enjoyable experience for such a huge range of players. And the challenge is, the moment that you hone in on one, you're going to get ripped apart by the others. I mean, like Avengers, there are people, that game is coded in a way that it's probably a tournament player's dream. It's incredible. But yet there's so many people that own that game. They're like, it's too complicated. I have no idea what I'm doing. Where am I supposed to hit the gym? And they get really upset because it's too complicated. Or you go the opposite, where you give them a very easy spelled out game, and then you get, oh, this code is shallow, and it's I have no options, and blah blah blah.
Well,
so
it's kind of like what we talked
balance.
about before about Munsters too, where a lot of people said, oh, the code's really shallow, this and that. But then if you ask them, okay, what's your strategy on it? A lot of them wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah.
They would just be like, I just know that it's shallow. Like, that's, you know what I mean? So it's like, the reality is it's difficult to code, to come up with rule sets no matter what. And I don't envy anybody that does that at all, because one, it is so difficult, and two, because you have idiots like us that will just talk about the code and just try to,
we know better.
Give our opinions on it. But I mean, it's just one of those things that it's a crazy ass job once you think about it. Because imagine if somebody just like commented on our jobs, made a podcast about it to talk about, or wrote something on a message board, you know what I mean, or a Facebook post, or an angry Pinside post.
Yeah, and how well are we responding to that feedback that we're getting?
We're doing great.
Yeah,
we're doing great.
Tom's really edited himself.
Here's
this
how
time.
I'm responding to it.
Yeah.
You.
I've censored myself really well. I think I've been extraordinarily humble this podcast, and I've been on my A game.
Yeah, you're top 3 easily. Yeah.
Number 2, at least.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's transition into
Tom's
something.
number 1. Love you, Tom Graf.
We all know Tom's
We all know Tom's number 1.
He's the
Tom
longest
like
leg of the
keeps the show going.
3-legged stool. He knows.
Joel, do you remember when we did a podcast without Tom?
I tried to forget it.
We got so much hate mail after that. People were like angry.
A lot of it was just writing it to ourselves. We just felt.
I know.
All right.
I know.
Well, this is a
Conspiracy.
segment that people have been wanting. They've been like, where's this at? What's going on? And to be honest, it's a good segment, and I don't know why we don't do it more. Well, actually I do, because it's work. But here we go. Let's just dive right in.
Welcome to Triple Burger. How can I help you?
Yeah, can I get the combo, please?
Did you want the single, the double, or the triple?
I think I'll have the
Triple combo. Yeah.
Are you done?
Yep.
Pull ahead, please.
Still the best sound thing that we've been given. I mean, Jason Leibel killed it. By the way, we plugged his album last episode, and I actually got a message. There's some people that were listening to it and really enjoyed it. Yeah. So Neon Dale, yes, thank you, Tom. Well done. So yeah, thanks again, Jason, for making that. But triple combo, back and better than ever. The reason we don't do it is because it always ends up being a long segment, and we always have a conversation of like, should we just make it a separate thing? Or you know what? If we ever make
We're gonna make
podcast,
it a Patreon, and everybody's gonna have to pay us for it. That's what's gonna happen.
There we go. Yeah. Well, if we ever do a video podcast, we'll probably split it out.
OnlyFans triple combo.
Triple combo. All right. Okay. So
we take off a piece of clothing
as you described.
Yeah. Thanks, Travis. Every tournament player I play now is going, hey, guess what? I listened to Triple Combo, and then they beat me on the game. It's great.
So we are going to do a triple combo. We're actually going to do a triple combo on Godzilla. Now, there's plenty of games we haven't done yet, but Godzilla is one that people have requested. So we're just going to dive on in. So if anybody's new to this segment, triple combo, we're basically going to break it down into 3 ways. The 3 ways you can attack this game. So I'm going to go first. It's basically if you had a friend or family member, a novice that stepped up to the pin. Why are you pointing at the camera, Tom? Travis?
I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
awkward,
setting
though.
you up. I'm getting hyped
around.
for you.
I know,
I'm getting
but
hyped for you.
It's
you
still...
complain about seeing my shoulder blade, and now I'm like getting you hyped up for this, and you're.
Tom, typically when he moves his hands,
we gotta
he
be
wants
nice.
attention, right? So I'm trying to give him the attention.
No. When I do that, I need to do this.
Oh, he holds his hand. Hey, you're Mr. Rogers. Why are you
to say.
Mr. Rogers? To Mr. Rogers is the name he typed in the chat.
Because Mr. Rogers is nice. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He
Nice.
gives out comfies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to love that comfy.
He's like the
Thank you,
nicest
Travis,
guy
yeah.
in the neighborhood.
It's a beautiful day in the
It's
neighborhood.
true.
Yep. Okay.
Oh,
so,
that's what it is. I thought it was the nicest guy in the neighborhood.
No.
No?
It's a beautiful
Well.
day in the neighborhood.
Shit. Okay.
Edit. Beep it. You're too late,
Oh.
man.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. We got it. We nailed it. Yep. Okay. So triple combo. So we're going to break down the game in 3 ways. So I'm going to go first. It's basically friends or family. Like if a novice stepped up to this game, what do you tell them to do?
If you have a friend that's like Joel, this
Yes.
is who it's for.
So what do I do? So, okay. So Godzilla for a novice, what is in Godzilla that people can enjoy? I'm going to talk about the premium just because there's a lot more in the premium for people to enjoy right off the bat. So the building mech, that's a cool mech. You can make that fall down. And to do that, you literally just hit up the middle. Technically, you can damage the building by hitting the ramps, but otherwise, all you have to do, your wife steps up to the table or the pinball machine. She's like, what do I want to see here? Just hit the building. Just literally just keep hitting the building. What you will see is after you hit it enough, it's going to lower. You hit it again, it's going to throw a ball up on top. It's cool physical ball lock. You hit it again, it throws another one up there, and boom, you hit it one more time. You get Godzilla multi-ball. So very, very cool, visually appealing thing. Blue Oyster Cult, the song Godzilla comes on. It's just all around. It's a great moment to experience. So, and it's very easy to tell somebody what to do. A few other things that you get to see in that process. When you hit the building, that ball actually comes out the back of the building, whips around to the left, and then the Magna Grab or the isn't Magna Grab, right? Is that the terminology?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Magna
Joel.
Grab will grab that ball and kind of then fling it back up the left, and it's 3. What are you saying?
He's saying you're the third best.
Third bet. Thank God. Third bet. Top three. Okay. So the Magna Grab will whip that ball around. And that's something, that's unique to this game. That's not in any other game. To see people love magnets. So to see that ball whip around is really neat. And then it also feeds that upper flipper. So they have a chance at that upper loop shot, which is pretty sick. So that alone, just telling them, just aim for the building. There's a good chance they're going to see the Magna Grab and the building. Other things they can do, the Mecha Godzilla target. Basically working on that, you just keep hitting that. So you're going to hit the spinner. It's going to fly up. It'll turn. You get to see it turn. You get to hit the targets. You can basically just kind of point him in that direction and just say, just keep hitting that. And when you see his little tummy finally grab the ball, another magnet, pretty cool to see. That's a moment in itself. I mean, that's kind of enough for a novice just to get him going or get him excited to keep playing that game. Otherwise, just tell him, like, pay attention, because when they drain, the videos are really funny. To me, they did a really, like, Keith, we've talked about this before. Some of his early games, I kind of felt like he didn't really put a ton for the novice player, or there wasn't, like, Avengers, there wasn't anything I could, like, tell a novice player, hey, do this, and it's super exciting. But I think he crushed it with Godzilla. I think there's a lot there for the novice player, not to mention you got the bridge moving. I don't know. That's probably enough. What I will say is he hasn't finished the code yet. And in his other games, he had like mini wizard modes, or modes that you could just get to by holding in the flippers and getting to like a challenge mode. He did Escape Nublar, and then Battle Royale, I think is what it was in Avengers. So it wouldn't, if you're listening to this later on, when he does complete the code, get to 1.0, I would guess there will be some sort of challenge mode in there that somebody can play.
So the mini wizard modes are in the game already.
Correct. But I will be curious if
just
those...
not the final.
Right.
Final.
Correct.
But like,
Wizard
I don't
mode.
know if he'll have, what is it? The Mecha Godzilla mode, Terror of Mecha Godzilla. Like, I don't know if he'll have those be the challenge modes that you can just warp straight to essentially by holding in the flippers, or if he'll have a completely different mode that you'll get to experience. I don't know. That hasn't come out.
Have you ever done the DJ mixer on Godzilla?
No, I haven't.
It's actually pretty cool.
Just so you can listen to the songs?
Well, that and the lights actually move with it too. They have like different light shows and stuff.
Okay, maybe. Hey, when I get my Godzilla Premium, whenever that's going to happen, maybe that's the first thing I'll do.
Yeah, just put on, old school orchestra, Godzilla main theme, and just, sit back, and just relax. And if you're feeling really hyped, put it on the rock version.
Let's go. Okay. Well, that's it. So triple combo. I've done my part. I get to shut up now. So we're going to transition from me to wizard mode. So wizard mode,
Wizard mode?
I thought we'd do tournament strategy first.
Yeah,
no, tournament's the last. Nobody cares about tournament. So
he's changed it, Tom.
Is it really?
Is this in the production notes?
I thought it was like casual play to now advanced wizard mode play, and then you do tournament strat last.
No.
Fine, do what you want. Whichever one of you wants to go next.
All right, I'll go with the.
All right, we just gotta record the segment again, Tom. Just take it from the top.
Everybody, we're gonna start over here.
Start the whole podcast over.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm not going to be able to do this justice. So a cheap pop going out to Carl D'Angelo from IE Pinball. You want to go watch his streams of Godzilla. He absolutely murders this game. He explains everything. You're going to want to go watch him after you listen to this. But after saying that, let's go over the tournament strategies. So first of all, you want to hit your rams and start a battle. And you do that by hitting the scoop. Once you're in your first tier battle, you want to select one of the four. There's Ebra with the spinners. There's Gigon with the ramps. Megalodon is kind of like a combo. And Travis, you laughing at me?
No, Travis.
Oh no, he left. Okay, and then
no, I went to go get a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, that's what I heard. Anyway,
yeah, no, it's 0 though. Monica said I got fat, so I'm on a diet.
Well, if you'd stop drinking 10 bears,
Is that why your camera hasn't worked for so many episodes?
Where was I?
You said Gigan, and then you were on. You were going through the tier 1 mode.
Megalodon, but I think you meant Megalon. Yeah. What's his name?
Whatever his name.
Megalon.
Is.
It's always good when you correct somebody, Travis, and can't say it yourself.
Joel, you're the worst.
Words.
Hey, top three.
After Dave.
What's the other one? Now I'm having a brain fart.
All I know is
Titanosaurus. Did you say that one?
Oh my God, my favorite one.
That's the one you literally play.
All right, end this segment right now. Now, Titanosaurus. Titanosaurus, you're going to hit basically targets and then finish up on the magnet grab.
It's like 5 shots, right?
Yeah, 5 shots. A lot
Yeah.
of points. A lot of
Yeah.
points. And then as you go through those modes, you can also bring an ally in. And the best ally in a tournament is usually the 2x scoring.
Yeah.
But you can also get an add-a-ball for multi-ball, or like your left out lane with the Mothra save. Mantra save.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So between those 4 tiers, though, is one of those competitively, like, I'm assuming, like, it's Keith. He probably made them all even, but is there a like, do you always go one over the other 4?
I've been taking Titanosaurus more so, but I would take Ebra. It just depends on the game setup. If the spinners are really juicy and spinny, I'll take Ebra. But if I hit one of them and it only spins 3 times, I'm avoiding it. So,
but I think Travis, during his like billion-point strategy that he's been given Dennis Kreisel, he's Geigen all day. So
yeah, I like opening up with Geigen.
Okay.
Personally, just because you can stack jet fighters with it early on too, because after you get 5, then you light your ally. And plus, if you're on a premium, if you get your first lock lit, that lowers down the building. So you could technically just ramp out the right ramp for your 8 shots on Geigen.
Right. But that's only on the premium, though.
Only on the premium. So if you're on the pro, then you just ski jump over from right to left.
Right.
That's what I like to do.
But I think that says a lot. I mean, it sounds like all 4 are viable. So it's nice that there isn't a definitive tier. But is the goal when you're doing the tier 1 battle, is the goal to complete the mode, or is there a way to like maximize the points when you're in that mode?
Well, I think you want to complete your mode, because then you can doesn't that increase your destruction jackpot?
Yeah, that, and it also gives you like I mean, you get a lot of points from completing a mode too. I mean, it's all of them, they have finishing blows, so it's worth it to go ahead and finish.
There's a time bonus too for
correct
the faster you do it. And then awesome. Moving on from that, you also have your you have your tank multi-ball, which you have to hit the lit tank targets, I believe 10 times, and then hit the scoop when it's flashing. The tank symbol will flash at the scoop to start that multi-ball. You have your bridge multi-ball, which is just basically collecting a number of spinners, or it's not spinners, switches, and hitting the magnet to progress through the bridge. And then you also have your Tesla or your power, and that's hitting the 3 stand-up targets, the 2 in front of the building and the 1 off to the side of the right ramp.
So you just hit each one of those one time, or how do you?
You have to hit them as a set. So you have to complete. I think it's 2 sets to get into the first one.
Tesla strike.
Yep.
And that's so all 4 of those tasks though are unique per city. So you can battle one character, you can do tank multi-ball, you can do bridge multi-ball, you can do Tesla strike, and the building too, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you can do all those while within one city.
And then you can keep doing them, and that's a strategy to try to increase your score, because you get the carnage bonus.
And that's all in one, because that's what I was trying to figure out is from a tournament standpoint, does it make sense to bounce between cities, or does it make sense to just stay in one city the whole time?
For me, I guess it depends on how the game's playing, but for me, I would continue through the cities, just to get the destruction jackpot up. Although I guess this is a question: do the tanks and those multiple? Yeah, now I can't talk.
Multiple.
No, yeah. Does your multiplier increase for completing the other stuff?
I would think so. Yeah, within the same city. Okay. I'm not sure if that carries over or not. I need to look deeper into it, but I know within the same city, it all goes together. So the deeper that you get in all your multi-balls, it just adds on to the score on your Carnage.
On your Carnage.
Collects, or whatever you call it. Yeah. Or Annihilation, whatever that's called, whenever you're hitting the shots afterwards.
Just
So
watch IE Pinball and you'll be fine.
So Travis, when you played it in that tournament the other day and you left my name on the score table, what did you do? Did you stay within a city or were you bouncing around?
So my general strategy is just to get out of Tokyo immediately. Like, I don't want to stay in there. I'm not worried about collecting a large Carnage bonus or anything like that. So the big reason why I personally like to start with Gigan early on is because it's at the ramps. So I'm hitting a shot without getting out of control. In Ebra, the reason why I don't like picking that for my first one is because one of the shots you're going to be out of control immediately, which is that left spinner.
Right.
So your center spinner you can control, the right spinner you can control also for the most part, but the left one it sends it off into the middle of the play field, and then you're kind of having to get back under control. But I like Gigan just because you can stay under control, you can keep hitting a ramp over and over again, and then you can stack it up with your jet fighter, which you hit 5 of those, you'll light your allies. So something like that.
But I'd also say or add in that Gigan's probably the least amount of points out of the 4 modes.
It is, but what you also do, you make progress to your Godzilla multi-ball because you're hitting a ramp and you're building progress towards that. So my goal is to always just do that first, get it out of the way, and then I get my collect, because you can basically do your final shot at the right or left ramp, wherever, and then your destruction jackpot, your very first one's immediately lit. And so you can basically just combo it straight in there, and then you're good to go from there. And then if you have an ally lit at that point, as soon as you hit the scoop, you're not only changing cities, but you might end up having a 2X or Mothra, or even getting your Add-a-Ball ready to go because you might already have Godzilla multi-ball lit at the building also.
So you change cities, and then once you're in a new city, you're immediately trying to get back into a battle?
Yeah, just depending on where I'm at. I mean, I personally like to try to hold off on Godzilla multi-ball for as long as I can within reason, and try to get a tank multi-ball going, or even a bridge attack, just anything else. Because if I can do that before my Godzilla multi-ball, then that means during Godzilla multi-ball, I can collect those points just passively during it. So that's a big reason why I like doing that.
What I'm hearing is I don't think there is any definitive like one strategy for this
There
game.
really isn't.
Yeah. So I'm assuming
So
when
you
you're
mean with this code, Joel,
yeah,
that means that you can do different pathways.
you have options. Yeah.
You have
Well,
options. That's what makes it fun.
I will
Yeah.
say when I watch tournament streams, and shout out to Fox Cities because you guys do awesome tournament streams, but there's a lot of times when you step up to certain games, the announcers or the commentators can just kind of say, well, this is what they're going to do. Like they know this is what everybody does on this game. I would assume Godzilla though is one of those games where it's like, let's see what they do. Let's see how they're going to attack this, or what their goal is at this moment. And it seems like there's no, at least right now, there's no definitive one strategy is the way to do it.
It just depends on, if I'm player 4, how the other players are playing. I might change my strategy mid-game because I only need a certain number of points, so I'm not going to go for dangerous shots.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It could be based on setup too. I mean, whether or not you have a ball save, or whether or not the multi-ball set to hard, or hard locks, or
like when Travis and I went to Indisc, like the outlanes were wide open. There were no rubbers on them. If you basically hit a destruction jackpot, it was almost like death. Or if you missed the destruction jackpot, it was going right down the left outlane. If you didn't have the ball save there, you were done. So there's decisions you have to make based on point values and things like that in a tournament that you don't normally do.
Now I know with the tier 2, you have to do 2 tier 1 battles, right, before you can do a tier 2.
That is correct.
And then when you go tier 2, one of the tier 2 is a multi-ball. Is that like, does it make sense to always go with that one first just because it's safe, or no?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think one or the other or both are are more points than the actual multi-ball, but the multi-ball's safe because you
You have
have
two, yeah.
yeah, and more than likely a ball save.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Well, I mean, tournament wise, is there any other suggest? I mean, there's so much to this game. I know there's like the saucer multi-ball, and there's, I mean, other stuff that you can pursue. Or, I mean, we talked about some of these kind of mini wizard modes, the like Terra Mechagodzilla. Is it like, I know on Deadpool, a lot of people are like, the goal is to get to Mech Suit Multi-Ball. That's like the end goal. That's what you want to get to, because there's a ton of, is there anything like that in Godzilla of, if you can just get to that point, then you know you're going to be in a good spot?
I mean, Terra Mechagodzilla actually can be worth a lot of points. If you can hit you have to hit the green shots to lock your ball, but then there's an instance where you have to hit the red shots, and that increases your jackpot value.
Or are you talking about Monster Zero?
Is that Monster Zero?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the green.
Yeah, you're right.
Which one comes first? Which one's earlier on in the game?
It depends on which route you go. So if you, well,
it's true.
You have to
Listen
hit
to this.
You
this
have to hit
badass.
a super jackpot in either the multi-balls. So either the Godzilla multi-ball or the Mechagodzilla multi-ball. And then you have to get to the, isn't it the fourth power-up is where you get to select? So
I believe so.
I think so.
And
so,
is that achievable? Like realistically achievable in a tournament? When these pins are set up brutal, is that something you could get to?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You're talking one super jackpot. So, I mean, could you miss it? Sure. But it's doable.
So basically how it works, Joel, is that what Tom's saying is like the Godzilla multi-ball, right?
Yeah.
There's two trees on your power-ups. So the Godzilla multi-ball, if you get a super jackpot on that, you'll be able to access your level 4 power-up, which is Monster Zero. And then the Terra Mechagodzilla is if you play the Mechagodzilla multi-ball and you get a super jackpot on that. Yeah. So that's what's cool is that you do, and you not even worrying about points, you just worry about your task, and that'll open up a different part of the game, which is pretty cool.
Well, you've said it before, though, when we've had these conversations of typically when you step up to a pin in a tournament setting, it's like you have kind of like your immediate goals. Like, I just want to do this as quickly as possible, but you typically have like a long-term goal in mind. So that's why I'm saying, like, is the long-term goal to get to this tier 2 battle, or is the long-term goal to get to one of those wizard modes, or is the long-term goal just to get to a third city? I mean, do you guys have just like a set path yet, or you just kind of...
My long-term goal is not to drain.
Got it. Oh, let me write that down, everybody. Yeah.
I like trying to get the Monster Zero because just like I was saying earlier, since I do Gigan, I'm going to start my Godzilla multi-ball, or at least get it lit a lot earlier than what I will the Mechagodzilla, because you have to hit that spinner anyways to get it, at least to start making progress towards getting it going. So, I mean, yeah, that's the awesome thing about Godzilla is that you have so many options to choose from, like when to use your heat ray, what multi-ball to bring in, what ally to use, which pathway you're going to take. I mean, there's just a lot to do, or whether or not how long you want to stay in a city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Like we've all seen on the Discord, Raymond's posted up like 1.5 million collect, or 1.5 billion collect on a Carnage bonus. You know, there's some people that elect to do that. There's others that they want to just go for destruction jackpots and get that built up, because that can be worth a ton of points as well. So there's all kinds of different ways to go with it. I've seen some that their entire strategy is built around trying to get to a tier 2 battle to play the King Ghidorah battle, to where they, instead of fleeing, they just try to fight as long as they can and basically get like get all their shots lit for a massive collect, use the heat ray to just spot everything and then cash out. So
Man, you guys
there's
are
all
making
kinds of
me
different
wanna play
strategies.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
I
So what
know.
I'm hearing is people are listening to this if they're on the plane or whatever. They're sitting, they pulled out their notepad and they're like, all right, here's the answer. I'm ready. I'm ready to tackle this game. I'm going to win this tournament. Here's the answer. And they just wrote down a whole bunch of crap with like, what's the answer?
Yeah, now
Just
they're
play it all.
erasing everything.
Yeah. Just do it all and try not to drain. It's
Really it is really a hard game to like. You do these 3 things and you're gonna be okay. It doesn't work that way.
yeah.
No, you could do your 3 things perfect, and somebody else could just come up and just whoop your ass.
Right.
That's just
Right.
the way this game works. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're playing ZMAC or somebody like that,
Oh yeah.
you're just like, okay, I got to put up 1 billion no matter what just to have even a chance.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what makes this game fun though from a tournament standpoint, and that's why I told you guys before that I think this is the most fun I've ever had playing any game in a tournament, just because there's so many different pathways to go, and there's a lot of stuff, a lot of nuance to it that we haven't even touched yet. I mean, think about if you bring a 2x into Megalon. Like, my God, the points are just off the chart. If you do something like that and you actually combo it all up to where you don't let that combo go out, then the points just, I mean, it's crazy, Joel. Points just go burr after that.
Well, I there's a lot of love for this game. There's a lot of love for this game on many different levels, but I think from a tournament player, I assume you never want to be in a game that puts you in jail, right? Where you're like, crap, I missed this, so there's no way I'll be able to catch up. And I think this is one of those games where you always have an option. There's always got to be some way that you could catch up.
I think just as a player in general, it's great if you're never in jail. I mean, just points be damned. At least you can make progress towards other things. You can pivot quickly on Godzilla and still find yourself getting to the same spot that you intended on going. I can't say the same for a lot of other games.
Well, maybe we should pivot to wizard mode then. I mean, is that, Tom, was there anything else you wanted
to? I've said my piece.
We gave all the tips and tricks. Yeah. So let's pivot. So the third of the triple combo is wizard mode. If you're a completionist, if you have this game at home and you're saying, I want to get all the way to the end. And what is the end? Technically, it's Planet X, right?
For now, it's Planet X, but I'm guessing it's going to be King of the Monsters since there's an insert for it. That's just my guess, that there's one final wizard mode that's left.
Do you think there'll be another wizard mode after that? Kind of like Jurassic Park?
If you beat it, the whole thing, that'd be cool.
Kind of like...
I'm not sure. I mean, Keith, if you're listening to this, please tell us. We all want to know.
What's the plan?
He'll just say, just wait. Just wait.
Tell us all the
release it,
secrets.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wizard mode, Planet X. So what do you technically have to do right now to get to Planet X? And then what do you think you'll have to do to get to King of Monsters?
Okay, so because we haven't done a triple combo in a while, so I'll just preface this, that whenever you do wizard mode hunting, there's basically 3 principles you need to follow.
Hold
Right,
on,
Joel?
I gotta write this down.
3. Yep, 3.
There's 3 major principles. So Joel needs to write this down because we got to get his ass finishing
That's
Toy
true.
Story. It's 3 major principles.
Mm-hmm.
First, it's the most obvious one. You want to know what it takes to qualify the wizard mode, right? And so in order to qualify the wizard mode, basically in Godzilla, you got to play through all 4 cities.
Okay.
So that's literally what it is. Because then after you play through all 4 cities, then you'll have Planet X lit at the scoop.
So
And what's the
basically, you
bare
have to
minimum-
get through
right.
all 4 tier 1 battles and all
Right.
3 tier 2s.
You have to do the tier 3s or the tier 2s?
Yes,
You got to get
to get
through,
to Planet X.
So
now, you don't
but-
necessarily have to defeat every
No,
have to
tier
start
no,
1.
you have to
just got to
just play
start them,
them.
just get
You gotta
through
play
it.
'em.
So you start in Tokyo. So to change cities, you have to battle a creature, right? So you
Mhm.
you hit your ramps, you hit the
Yep.
scoop, you're battling your creature.
We'll come to that though. Let me finish the other 2 principles, and then we'll talk about that first one.
Oh, okay.
God, quit
Joel-
interrupting,
Joel E.
Joel.
Yeah.
Joel
Just,
E.
let me just get that pad, that pencil and pad. I'm ready.
What's that
I'm so
call
ready
it?
to write this
What do
down.
you say, Jolie? Is that what
Jolie.
it is? Yeah,
It's
Jolie.
a play on Jolene.
Jolene. Okay.
You know,
How old
Dolly
is Zach?
Parton.
I don't even know what that reference is. Now I
Dolly
think about it.
Parton.
Dolly Parton. yeah.
Jolene.
Oh, okay.
Jolene.
Got it.
Jolie.
Got it.
It's-
No wonder.
Let
All
me
right. So
spoon
number
feed it to you,
2.
man. Jeez.
Number 2. This is a big one. This is a big one. Ignore the score unless it's
Nailed it. Got it.
necessary.
Not.
Ignore the score.
So
'Cause
wait,
then
there's
gonna be-
wizard modes that you know of that you have to get a certain score.
Well, if you got to get a certain score in order to finish a mode, or in order to get, like, for instance, when you look at, or maybe not even score, like a certain progression, like Guardians has that to where you got to actually complete it to get to the final wizard mode, but you could also get halfway to do the secondary wizard
start
mode.
the modes or complete the modes. Got it.
Right. So what I'm getting at is that unless it's necessary, don't worry about your score, because then you're not taking unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
So,
What
for
he's
instance,
saying is failure is an option.
right,
Yes.
exactly. So an unnecessary
I've got
risk
this
on
one figured
Godzilla,
out.
for instance, and Tom alluded to this, would be trying for a destruction jackpot, right? Destruction jackpot doesn't mean anything towards going to wizard mode.
Nope.
All that does is it just guarantees you're going to put a ball horizontal.
Yep.
And you're just a lot easier just to ignore it if you're wanting to try to get further in the game. Now, if you want to live life on the edge, feel free to take a shot at it.
That's
But
where Tom lives.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the number 2 principle. Number 3, and this is the biggest one, Joel,
Yeah.
the biggest one right here. Write this one down.
This is the big boy.
Learn where the extra balls are in the game. That's the most important thing, because you want to prolong your game as much as possible. Very, very important.
I will say
Okay.
that's one thing I'm frustrated with Toy Story. I only know of one extra ball right now. But I need to learn the other ones.
Also,
I mean, I
for
could Google it, but-
tournaments, extra balls on Godzilla are now 50 million points.
That's all the
Glorious.
points.
It's a lot of points.
So
it's,
the key,
it's really
got it.
fun doing it when somebody doesn't know it's there and they're like, where'd that come from?
So ignore the score.
And
Get
if
as
you do
many
2x,
extra
it's worth
balls.
100.
Get as many extra balls as possible.
Yep.
And then learn how to get to the wizard mode. Got it. 3
No,
solid
no.
points.
You learn what it takes to qualify the wizard mode is number 1. That's your
what I
first
just said.
step.
Yep.
Second, make sure you ignore the score.
Yep.
Third, learn where the extra balls are. That's the last one.
I
There's
think
nothing
you-
after extra balls.
I think you just said exactly what I did, but just
Well,
in
no,
reverse order.
you put
I did
learn
3,
what
2,
it
1.
takes to qualify the wizard mode is number 3. No, that's number 1, Joel. That's number 1.
Tom, you following this? Do you have a different order you want to say
I'm
these
just
3
agreeing
topics?
with Joel.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, Travis, I'm ready. I am
Because
I
Joel
am-
got to the fast break wizard mode.
No, I
am
agree with
locked
all
in.
of our listeners. You bully Joel too much.
Hey,
That's
That's, you're my boy,
That's fair.
Tom.
That's fair.
That's true. He is percusizing, so there you go.
Go watch Heavyweights. Such a good movie.
I gotta watch
so,
that.
Yeah.
So now that we know this, it's very important that we at least know what the extra balls are in Godzilla. So do you guys know what the extra balls are?
No.
The saucer.
Okay, so that's one of them. If you can destroy 3 saucers, which is the pop bumper in the lower right-hand side, so you hit it 5 times, and then it'll light that saucer again to where you can destroy it. Another way you can spot a hit is if you're in single ball play and you hit it through that right spinner, that switch behind there will actually spot a saucer shot.
Oh, shit,
So
I
that's
didn't know
another way.
that.
Yep, and then you can also do your shats.
Why
From
would that spot a
right to
shot
left.
though? You're saying you hit this right spinner and it dribbles down behind it and it just gives you
Yep,
a
that
hit?
switch spots it. Yep.
Oh, that's safe.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why I'm giving you this information.
That's
Joel.
way safer than actually
Yeah.
hitting the pop bumper.
Unless
Yeah,
you
there-
drain down the right outline.
Yeah, then it's not safe. Okay, then the other ways to get an extra ball is you got to conquer 2 cities. The other way is to destroy 10 jet fighters or fighter jets.
Conquer 2
But
cities,
keep-
like actually defeat the bad guy?
Yes,
Got it.
actually defeat the bad guy. Yes, Joel.
Got
Do
it.
not let him off the hook.
Does
it.
one of the cities give you an extra ball for defeating it? Or is
So,
it just
The
2
second
cities?
one, apparently. Yeah.
So it's you conquer 2 cities. I don't know. Are you talking about is there a specific city
I'm gonna look
that gives
it
an
up.
extra ball?
I'll look it up.
There might be. I don't know. This is just what I have in my notes. I don't know if there's new code that's changed this around.
Because cities have perks now, right?
They do. They had perks before, but it's just now finally listed on it. So the other thing that you can do, like I said, destroy 10 jet fighters, but you can only destroy 5 at a time. So once you destroy your first 5, and you can either hit the full collect on the left spinner if you want to, or ignore it, whatever you want to do, because it's like a hurry up. But in order to start it again, you're going to have to go to the right spinner, hit that switch that we talked about, or it might even just be the right spinner, but then it'll relight one of your in lanes. And you have to go over the in lane in order to get your jet fighters built up and get them started. I
So
think
you
you got to
do-
do that at least 6 times.
You do one of the in lanes 3 times. Boom. You start jets. Jets are going to have super awesome music. There's going to be a few shots lit. You're saying max in one session is 5 jet fighters.
Yes.
And then you're saying to relight the in lane starting again, you have to go through the right spinner.
Right spinner.
And then 3 more in lanes. Boom. You're in jets again. 5 more jets.
I think it might be 6 in lanes.
You don't have
I
to do
forget off
both
the top of my
sides.
head.
You just have to
Completing
do
5
one
city
side 3
combos
times.
gives you an extra ball?
So yes, that was the last one I was going to talk about. So
Oh,
if
sorry.
you collect 5, no, you're fine. Tom's on top of this, Joel. You hear Tom? Tom's ready to go.
I'm in active listening mode.
You
Okay,
are.
I am.
You're doing great, Joel. You're beautiful. All right, collect 5 city combos. So this is important that if you're going to make any progress, know what your city combos are, especially early on in Tokyo, because you start in that city no matter what. And so your city combos, basically, if you don't know what these are, you get 3 per city. But I think one of them is only for premium and LE. So I'm guessing the pro just has 2
Yep.
under those circumstances. So
Looks like it.
so if you have the premium LE, good on you. You're going to have a little bit easier time doing this. With Tokyo, you want to do center spinner, big loop, and the mecha side lane, or
Wait, is
I
this
guess the tail whip.
city combos? Is this different than
Yeah.
the secret combos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was not in it when I had the game.
No.
I don't know. Maybe you just weren't doing them. I don't know.
City combos. Okay.
City
so
combos. Yes.
there, depending on what city you're in, there's very specific
There's
shots, and you can hit
3
them at any
specific.
time.
Yep. There's 3 specific combos per city.
If you're in on an LE premium, otherwise there's just 2. It looks like
So you hit these. So to get that extra ball, you have to do how many combos?
5.
5. So 3
Yep,
in one
so-
city, and then 2
Yep.
in another.
So here's what you want to do. You're going to start out in Tokyo first. So if you're on a premium or LE, you have a very easy one right out of the gate. It's go center spinner, catch with your left flipper, hit the pop bumper immediately. So that'll give you 1. Then another easy one to do, and you want to do this before you light your Godzilla multi-ball. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it. You got to hit the right ramp, go through the building, then it'll catch on the magnet, and then you'll do your loop. So right ramp, building, loop. You got that, Joel?
Right ramp? How does it go? It goes through the building.
no,
You
you
go
hit
right
the right
ramp,
ramp, then hit
you
the
get a
shot
tip
through
flipper.
the building,
Yeah, through
and
the
then hit the
building, from the
destruction
left.
jackpot.
Then
shot.
it gets the magnet. The magnet kind of tosses it
Yeah.
up
Whoop,
the
and
left
then-
ramp area, and
Got
then
it.
yeah. That makes sense?
I love
Oh, yeah.
combos. I love
Blowing
combos.
your mind,
this is
isn't it?
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
Imagine
do that.
knowing the rules.
imagine.
I'm just stuck on
Look at-
point
look at
2
Joel.
of ignoring the score. But
Joel
okay.
Joel wants to be a tournament player now. So after you get through your first city,
Are those
All right.
combos worth a lot of points, by the way?
I mean, they're worth a little bit, but it's not something you actively think about when you're in tournament play unless you realize that you have 3 combos by accident, and then it's worth 50 million
Yeah.
if you complete 2 more.
2 more.
So
Does it-
they become worth going for.
Does it show it anywhere on the screen? Like, do you know how many combos you've had?
So unfortunately, the only way to see it is if you go through the info
Oh, okay.
per
All right.
city. And it has like a postcard type thing to where you can see what combo you've done. And it tells you which combos you have left. Now the secret combos,
Or
they
secret.
don't tell you at all
Yeah.
because it's a secret, Joel. so they don't tell you. Yeah.
Speaking
And I
of
honestly-
secrets,
I don't
if
know
you-
what all the
if
secret
you
combos
wanna, If you want to know where Travis is getting all this information, you need to email us. We're not going to just give it to you. You need to email us, and then I will send it to you.
It's not tiltforums.com, is it?
You need to email us.
I mean, it probably
You
is.
just-
I'm reading off my notes because I'm a psychopath and I have notes on every single game.
Uh-huh.
Joel,
All right,
you know
Travis,
how how I try to memorize rule sets?
I don't know. You draw pictures of.
Well, kind of actually. I use flashcards and then I write it out. Like-
You're
Spaced repetition to remember it.
you're one of a kind, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right. So after you get through your first city, I personally like choosing London next.
I'm from
Right.
London.
And I actually like choosing London next, even if I'm playing in a tournament. But for the purposes of going for wizard mode, a big reason why I do this is because your right ramp, your left ramp to scoop is one of the combos. And you got to do that anyways in order to light your next battle. So that kind of goes hand in hand. That's an easy stack to do right there. And then another thing you can do is if you're on the premium LE is left ramp, then captive ball. So that's the low-hanging fruit right there.
Wow.
Is all making sense?
Yeah,
so far?
I
This
had no
is
idea
really
these
a
were in the
long
game.
triple combo.
Well, we knew it was going to be long, Tom. It's Godzilla.
That's why this is why we don't do them often, because it's like
We
it ends
can-
up being half a podcast.
we
but-
can
We
blame
get yelled
Keith
at
for
by
making this
everybody
type
in
of
the
rule set.
TPN Discord.
Well, next time we'll do Toy Story then. We'll do that. All right. So now that we know how to get all the extra balls, that's what you want to do. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, the other way, we haven't named off the last way to get an extra ball, which is make 12 shots into a Monster Rampage, which is basically you got to hit the left spinner enough times to start it. And then you have to hit 12 shots and you have 12 seconds per shot. And that shot will just eventually move from left to right across the playfield, starting with the left ramp and eventually go all the way around to the left spinner.
That sounds fun.
It's a lot of fun, Joel. So
But all of that, I mean, all of those things are just extra balls. They're not technically needed to qualify the wizard mode.
no, but they're so important though, because if you don't have extra balls and you're not trying to prolong your game, basically you're going to have to try to get the wizard mode in 3 balls. And that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's doable, but it's a lot more doable if you have more balls to play with.
Got it.
That's just the way it goes. So the other things to do pretty much is just consider strategic use of your heat ray, because basically you can hit that center spinner. I believe it's 60 times, and then it'll light your Teolis button to where it'll spot a shot.
Yeah.
So whenever you're playing Ebra, for instance, if your last shot is on, well, I say if, it will be, your last shot is on that pop bumper. If you don't feel like hitting that shot, just use the action button.
Push and
it'll-
hold. Push and hold the action button.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you'll be okay from there.
Nice.
That's
okay.
that's the way that I do it. Another thing you need to do is make sure you're keeping track of your tanks, because if you progress to where you get 10 tanks early on, at least on your first multi-ball, and of course it'll be more your second, but if you light your tank multi-ball, that will take priority over your modes at the scoop. So
Yes.
where you start it and where it's at the same shot. So you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you get into your mode first before you get your tank multi-ball lit. So that's very, very important as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the main thing. And what I like to personally do going after wizard mode as well, Megalon, I much prefer playing that in single ball, and Gigan, I prefer playing that in single ball. But Ebra and Titanosaurus, I'll play those in multi-ball.
Interesting, because
make
Titanosaurus is 5 shots. I feel like I can just snipe those 5 shots. But the one, what is it, Megalodon? That's the one that's like a roaming shot. It's moving around like crazy. That's where I want the multi-ball. Like, give me some help
but-
there.
not
But you can
necessarily.
you can also, if you play Megalon to where you're just being patient and waiting for him to pop up, then just hit your shot. Or you can even kind of
Just hit the
manipulate where he's
shot.
going.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can kind of manipulate too where it's going to end up at while he's underground.
What a game, man. This game.
There's a
Okay.
nuance to that. Yeah, just blew your mind. And we won't even get into that. If you didn't know that existed, just go play your Godzilla and you'll see what I'm talking about.
He doesn't
Okay.
have Godzilla.
So you're in the second. Not
Any of the
yet, I'm
listeners.
waiting. So you're okay. So second city, you're in London. You're playing. So Gigan's first city. Second city, you do somebody. I don't know.
You want to know which one I do? It depends where I'm at. If I'm close to a multi-ball, then I'll take probably Titanosaurus
Okay.
for my second one. Because that's the one out of all 4 of the modes, the one that I prefer to play multi-ball in the most is Titanosaurus. Just because you have to hit the stand-up targets in order to progress through. And then if I do have my heat ray ready, sometimes I will opt to use it on the third target, because on that you got to hit your 2 targets at the building, but then that third target's
way
there
up
way up there in the corner on that right ramp. So sometimes I'll even use an action button on there.
Yeah, we know
And
you struggle
then-
with the upper flipper. That's the thing.
Well, at the same time though, it's like that's a big reason why I don't mind using Titanosaurus in that spot. But I am starting to work on trying to do that in single ball. It just depends where my heat ray's at. You know, if my heat ray's ready to go, then I might take it because I know that third shot's easy to do. And then from there, I'm just hitting the mazer cannon and then hitting the captive ball to finish it off.
So there's London, right? So you blew through him, and then you get
then
out
my
of
next
London.
one I like to do is Paris. Because Paris, it's your first combo that's easier to do is like left ramp and spinner if you're on a premium LE. And then the other combo I think is left ramp, left spinner.
But why do you care about combos at this point? You already have your extra ball.
Just in case I don't. I might only have 3 or 4.
Okay.
So that's why I'm very deliberate with what cities I want to go to, just because of that.
So you've done 1 city tier 1 battle, 2 cities tier 1 battle, and now on this city, are you focusing on?
You got to start working through tier 2.
2 tier 2 battles.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And those I just play them down the line. I don't really worry about
maybe
it.
This is a dumb question. You only have 4 cities, so how do you do 7 battles? Because you have 4 tier 1s.
Because you got to go back in the scoop. Because you got to go in the scoop anyways in order to change cities.
Yeah, but when do you do the? I thought you can only do 1 battle per city.
1 tier 1.
Oh. Okay.
Is this making sense so far?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
Stick with Toy Story, Joel.
Oh. Cuts
And
deep.
that's triple combo.
That was really rude. I was just trying to be funny.
I mean, it just shows like
I don't want any of our listeners
but...
calling or not calling and writing in.
Okay, so just to
in.
reiterate, so you're in it. You start in Tokyo. You do your tier 1 battle. You get out of that. You go to your next one. You do a tier 1 battle. You finish that, but your tier 2's lit. So you hit the scoop. You do your first tier 2, and now you're going into the 3rd city. Tier 1 battle, tier 2 battle, and then you end up in your 4th city, tier 1 battle, your last one, and your last tier 2 battle. And after you've done all those things, Planet X would be lit, correct?
Correct.
See? Okay, I'm right there. I'm all over it. So that's Planet X, but you think there's King of Monsters. So King of the Monsters, there's got to be a lot. What more do you think you would need to do to get to that? This is a guess. We don't know yet.
You want me to guess?
Yeah.
What we'd have to do? I would probably say maybe it would have to do with collecting jackpots or something like that, or maybe actually finishing all the tier 1s.
Actually finish it? Or do you think there'd be like you have to play Godzilla multi-ball, Tank multi-ball, Bridge multi-ball in all 4 cities, you know?
It could be. It could be something nuts. I mean, it's the thing is right now I feel like Planet X is pretty accessible to most players.
Most top 30 players, yeah.
Well, I think the wizard mode, to me, in my opinion, the wizard modes on right now on Godzilla, they're more accessible than any other wizard mode from any of the other Elwyn games, in my opinion. Like, even if you take Iron Maiden, you still had to make a pretty good effort to get the cyborg. Not everybody can get there. 2 minutes to midnight, you have to play through all the modes. I mean, that takes a little while to do for a lot of people because that game is a little bit more difficult shooter. So,
is there any?
Go ahead.
So, is there any mode?
Soul Gem.
Soul Gem's great.
Soul Gem. I've actually talked to people that have never played that.
Oh,
that
so
blows
great.
my mind.
That's a moment. That is a moment. I freaking love that mode. Is there any moment in Godzilla that you time out?
That I time out?
Yeah. Or like, I mean, we've talked about this before where there's
just some
other
of
games.
the animations, I just blow them off.
Yeah, but there's other games that we've played, like we said with GNR, where it's like you get to this and you just cradle up and you time it out because it's not worth any points and you're just working towards progression. But is there anything?
There's not any one thing in Godzilla that you're just timing out. I mean, you might wait maybe on Rampage if you don't want to aim after a certain shot. You might wait for that to go around, but that's about the only other time I can think of.
Rampage would be the only thing I would think of. But then you're blowing your extra ball.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
What's your there's that creature, the like smog ooze creature dude. I don't know his name. That's
starts with an H, right?
Yeah,
Hedera.
Yeah. What's that about?
What you want to know about the creature, or you want to know about the
that's
creature
a
in the
I know
mode?
that's
mode.
I know Carl's big on there. Like that's a big. There's a lot of points there, but I'm assuming it's not needed.
Yeah.
It's not needed for
It's no.
for Wizard
It's not
mode.
needed for that. No, but there is pretty big points for it. I've seen it to where I've gotten close to 1 billion on it, and then I've had other times to where I've gotten 5 million.
Huh,
So
okay. Just
pretty cool.
another level in the game potentially for points, which is insane.
Yep. No, there's a lot of stuff to do in it, but luckily you don't have to use anything with Hedera for any of the wizard modes or anything like that. It's just one of those, I guess, secondary modes that happens that doesn't take
building up
priority over anything.
With switches, you're building up the value of each shot.
It's insane. All right. Well, I mean, we've talked like 45 minutes on this game. To be honest, I mean, this is a game that I am excited to have like novice or friends and families play, because I think the toys and mech, at least on the premium, are really entertaining. I think the building's up there with like the castle in Medieval Madness. Like, I think there are some really cool things of, hey, you're going to want to see this. You're going to want to see what this thing does. So I think this game there's a lot of fun to be had from a novice player. But then we just talked, I mean, the tournament strategy there kind of isn't one. You kind of just want to do everything, and depending on how the game's set up, adapt and move and go with it and try to get your points. And then the wizard mode is just it's absurd. So this is one of those things that kind of comes back to our second topic here of code. Congrats to Keith and who's it? Rick Nagel is the code. I mean, the code in this game, I don't know. It's firing on all cylinders. It's really impressive, incredibly well done. It is number one. I will say it's I'll give it a yeah. It's fantastic. So, anything else that you guys feel needs added to Triple Combo?
The outro music.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So good.
Triple combo.
All right. Well, we're running a little long, so we'll
hungry.
We'll fly through this. Real quick thoughts on Insider Connected. I know that congrats to Stern. They just announced new code for literally every LCD game. I know I have Insider Connected. I have the kits in both Turtles and Deadpool. I'm a fan. I know Tom has expressed other options. I also know
Look at Tom's face.
I also know that Tom's internet sucks, and like updating his games with Insider Connected is an entirely different
please tell
experience.
this story
Let me
real
tell the
quick?
listener something. So I thought
Yes.
my internet was very good, and it's not.
No, so just put this in perspective. We're all talking amongst each other, talking about how quickly our codes are downloading on our games. And we're like, yeah, it just takes like 15, 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it could be.
6.5 fucking hours. That's how
Oh, you're
long
late.
it took
Hit the
my-
button. You're late. Hit the
What?
button.
No.
There it is.
That is worth the swear right there. I don't care what everybody says. 6.5 hours.
So Tom sent a speed test, a screenshot of his speed test to us. And it was like
0.5 kiloseconds or something.
and I asked
So
Tom,
bad.
I was like, is your internet router a potato? What's
Yeah.
happening here? He's like, what are you guys? And we're like 800 megabytes to a gigabyte.
Yeah.
Well, we
And
don't have fiber in our area or anything like that.
You got all those LEs and you just forgot to pay for internet.
That's
Apparently.
the problem. He's got too many mirrored back glasses that are reflecting all the Wi-Fi signal in his basement. And that's why his Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I will
I'm
say
getting
the
better
Insider Connect.
Wi-Fi. I'm not even going to download anything anymore until I get the better Wi-Fi.
I will say though, if you're listening to this and you haven't yet done this with your games at home, the home team thing is actually pretty cool.
It's incredible.
It makes it so much more convenient to get your profile on there. So all you got to do is basically just go into the menu, enter your profile in. I think Stern on their YouTube channel has a quick video showing you how to do it. And it's super simple.
Rebecca Hinsdale does a fantastic job.
There you go. So yeah, it's super simple. You can load up to 8 profiles on there. And then all you do when you step up to your game is just hold your left flipper down for a couple seconds. And then it gives you the option which one you want. Pick which profile you want. Hit the Teolis button. Boom, you're loaded in. Hit start.
that's the action
you're good to
button
go.
for people that, Jeff Teolis hates it. But yes, it's incredible.
We love it.
And I also think what's cool is it allows you to select your profile. If you have more than one saved, you can
Yes,
select
Joel.
who's going.
That's what we just said.
It allows you to select who's going 1, 2, or 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it
Oh,
also
sorry, I forgot to say that. You're
game
right.
mode is also there where you can select, so you can go straight to like I'm going to competitive mode or I'm playing this mode. So it's just a really simple UI because everybody's taking a screenshot of their QR code at this point and fumbling around or forgetting, oh crap, I'm not logged in yet, let me do this. It's just almost every like 99% of the pinball I play is in my house. So the fact that I've logged them in and I'm done, like it's awesome. Truly it's so good. We wish it would have been there from day one, but hey, I'm glad it's there now. So if anybody's holding out for some reason, just if you have Insider Connect, update your games. You're going to enjoy it.
I'm just waiting for weekly challenges or monthly challenges, like a new achievement list or something like that to do. Not just high scores, but like do this or whatever in the game.
It was kind of weird. It was like Mandalorian was just forgotten about. And then they just skipped right over it to go to Jurassic Park. Like there was no announcement who won.
Because of that little
bug,
that little thing that we hinted at last podcast.
We hinted at last podcast. It doesn't matter now, but what it was co-op games worked. So you could play a 4-player co-op game.
That's right. You can't do it
and blow it up with 12 balls. It's a 4-player co-op game, and then save your high score. So we had heard one of our friends in the TPN Discord. They just tried it, and boom, number 1 score. So I think they had. I don't know if they allowed that or pulled it or what. But I agree. It's right now they have Insider Connect. During this event, if you play a game at this show, you'll get a badge. But it would be cool if like, hey, during this month, if you get this achievement, you get a badge, and it's only available this month. Like that would be potentially enough of a reason for me to go play it at an arcade. Just there's an extra Deadpool badge, and I can't earn it any other way. Like let me go try to earn it on location to do whatever. But I'm excited. I mean, maybe we'll just go straight into
what's the end goal for this Insider Connect, Joel?
That's what I'm saying.
For us to be all connected, Tom.
That's what I'm saying right here. Let's just go right into this.
Tom talks. He's got something to say. Tom talks. He's got nothing to say. Tom talks. Tom talks.
I got nothing.
I was about to say, you better have these censor buttons ready to go.
So, Tom, I know you have some strong opinions about Insider Connected. After the most recent code release of all this new stuff, what are your current views on Insider Connected? Do you feel it's where it needs to be, or what do you want for the future of Insider Connected?
So, in the future, I would like to see head-to-head competition. But not only that, I'd like to see kind of what they're doing with the heads-up challenges, where they have 4 females, 4 males compete for a new inbox stern. But they do the time modes and they do challenges. I want to see that implemented. I want to be able to play somebody else and, not just do just a regular game. I want to be able to go, okay, let's do this challenge and let's compete and let's see who could get it the fastest.
Yeah. But are you saying like, but not locally, because you probably don't have 2 games there. You're saying some sort of.
It would be nice to do it locally, but it would be cool to do it, via a good internet connection that I don't have, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any other feelings of where it's currently at? What are your just let us know.
It's a piece. No, just kidding. Yeah, I think it's good. I think the achievements are good. I'm just looking for a little more.
All right. So
I like the home thing. I mean, I think that's great.
As of right now, do you feel like it's worth because you've added it to multiple games in your collection?
I've added it to every game I have.
And do you feel like it's, as of right now, is it worth the money?
As of right now, I would say no.
As of right now, no. Okay. Well, I can't wait, Tom, for the moment that it is.
I think it's great for like shows and locations, but as a home buyer, I mean, I want to see a little more coming from it.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Tom talked. He had something to say. Tom talked. He had nothing to say. Tom talked. Tom talked.
I got nothing.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Not only for that, but also just being here tonight and sharing your wonderful face and opinions and thoughts with the two of us. What do you want, Travis?
So, did Venom show up at Comic-Con or no?
No, it wasn't there. We'll see. I mean, hopefully August. Hopefully we have an August reveal at some point. I think Zach on TPS or somebody talked about the schedule coming up, and I mean, there's a big gap in the schedule sometime soon. So, what are they? They're either going to fill it with more Godzilla, or they're going to make something new.
Maybe they're going to vault Godzilla.
Vault.
They're
already at the point of vaulting it. Yeah, but hopefully soon. I mean, we're kind of. We're at a weird point. There was a lot of Toy Story hype. Toy Story's out. I think a lot of people have already made their mind up on Toy Story, even though they haven't played it. I would still encourage you guys to say give it a shot, but the hype of even Weird Al is not really being discussed, even though those are coming out. There was new code, like Halloween Ultraman got new code. I don't feel like that's being discussed too much. There was new Rick and Morty code. Tom, you have Rick and Morty. That was exciting.
No, there's no new Rick and Morty code yet.
Oh, I thought it just came out.
Yeah, they just announced it.
It was like today.
Oh, it was?
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't follow Spooky's Facebook page?
No.
Well, Tom's pumped. Okay, he's
No,
ready.
He's fired up.
I knew there was beta code, but I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
That's good. Cactus Canyon's still trickling out. Zach's mentioned that a few times, like waiting on toppers, or essay. I don't know. It's just there's a lot kind of. I feel like we're just kind of in a weird spot of kind of a. I don't know, not lull.
Well, seeing how it's possible that the next game might be announced before we do another podcast, what do we want to see? Let's just pretend that it is Venom. Like, we don't know that for sure. But we'll just pretend
We're
that
just
it is.
going to react to the title.
What do we want to see out of it? Do you guys want to see the movie version or the comic book version?
100% comic book.
See, that's what I want to see
100%.
personally.
Yeah.
100% comic book. I'm fine with Zombie Eddie or somebody else, but comic
Now
book.
number two.
Okay.
Do you guys want to see? Let's say it's Brian Eddy. Do you guys want to see another fan layout?
No.
Or do you want to see something dynamic?
Well, dynamic. I don't want a fan layout. And the only reason I say that is I owned a Shadow and I freaking loved it. So
I want to see a 3 flipper
Yes.
or 4 Brian Eddy game.
I know Brian
2
Eddy
flipper.
can design a good 3 flipper game. So give me another one of those, please.
Cool. That's all the questions I had.
Oh,
that's how
solid.
good I am.
2 solid questions. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I just give me good art. Give me something unique. Please don't give me another fan layout.
Let's say it would be a fan layout. Let's just pretend it would be. What would they even put up the middle?
I don't know. The problem is Venom. You think of
You
Venom,
know what I
and you
mean?
think of essentially his head open with his tongue out, kind of like the Kiss sculpt. I just don't give me that.
Oh crap! You just figured it out.
I know.
Crap! I didn't even think of that.
I know, but that's basically
that
what
tongue-
you think of.
Yeah. I don't. Well, maybe they could do something like maybe the tongue comes out as like a ramp up into the mouth, and that's where your ball
like
lock
Rolling
is.
Stones?
Did Rolling Stones have one where the tongue came out
Thought so.
because of ramp? Did it?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't-
remember.
I mean,
I
I've-
just
I've-
remember Mick
Wow.
on a stick.
I just don't want another fan layout. I just don't want another fan layout with a bash toy or something right out the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want to see something with, because I played Shadow a few times just this past week too, and that's what I was thinking while playing, and I was just like, this is a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, Stranger Things is fun to play, but it's just thinking about the different types of shots that there could be, and just being able to send the ball horizontal and being able to find jackpots or loops. I mean, that's just a ton of fun.
Give me the shadow diverters again. Those are so great. The user control. And props to diverters on a ramp, period. I know Rush obviously had one. Toy Story has one. I really like that. You shoot the left ramp, and depending on what's going on, it's going to either feed the left flipper or the right flipper.
The game behind you has one. Well, not the game that you have, but the premium has one.
Oh, Turtles,
And the
yeah.
LE.
But
Oh,
I just
yeah.
love that. The reality is the state changing mechs. Anything that depending on where you're at or what's going on, the ball's going to go in a different place depending on what, like Godzilla obviously has that with the building. Give me more of those. Give me more state changing mechs. So I think diverters on ramps are awesome.
I think Travis would agree with me not to do the same diverter from Turtles Premium. On
Yes,
any
don't do
game
that.
Yeah, don't do
ever.
that. My graveyard next to me is still
I know.
weeping.
It's one of the main reasons I have no interest in getting a premium or upgrading to the premium. But I think that's it. I think that's it for our list.
We crushed it, guys.
Yeah.
Well played.
We're going to go ahead and do plugs, and that's where, Tom, you can talk about what's coming up here. So,
Yeah,
Tom, go
we
ahead.
got a lot of tournaments coming up at District 82 this next week, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then there's Beat the Clock on Wednesday. There's 8 Fair Strikes on Thursday, and then we have the big Summer Pinball Classic at District 82 from Friday to Sunday. There's going to be 2 certified tournaments with finals, so it's going to be pretty exciting. A lot of fun. We're going to stream
Nice.
it all.
Nice. And I appreciate that you do that. That way we all can watch from afar. Travis, you want to make something up that you can plug?
I actually do have something to plug.
What?
Joel, thank
Okay.
you. Yeah. So hopefully, depending on when this podcast comes out, because we're recording on Thursday, so may miss it. But this Saturday, just in case, on August 6th, I'm playing down in a tournament in Oklahoma City for a critical hit tournament. And I'm sure that'll be streamed on Twitch at try2tilt_pinball.
Cool.
And then, of course, we got District 82 coming up that Tom's already talked about. And then we'll have New York City
Yes.
the week after that. So
That'll be backhand pinball, I believe.
I believe so.
Yep.
And then, I think that's about all I got. And then you guys can catch me here on the Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
Yes. And then, I stream every Wednesday night from 10 to midnight on the Pinball Network. So check me out there. And then every other Thursday I stream for Flipping Out on that channel, and had a lot of fun. So I'll be streaming next Wednesday. We'll be doing another chatting stream. You can catch all those if you've missed them live. Those all go up on YouTube on the Pinball Network. And then next Thursday I'll be streaming some more Toy Story. So maybe that'll be the day I get the Wizard Mode. Maybe not. But yeah, appreciate everybody that listens to these. And yeah, we have some ideas, potentially some art options or logo changes coming up. So I don't know, buckle up. If there's anything, we've talked about merch or anything, if there's anything that we can do for you as a listener, feel free to email us at tripledrain@gmail.com. But otherwise, we're just going to keep sitting here staring at each other and talking about pinball. That's apparently that's what we do best. Yeah. All right. Travis, you got anything? You're good? I think you're good.
I'm
You should
great,
be
Joel. I like I said, fantastic podcast, firm handshakes all around.
All around.
Did pretty well. I hope those comfies do you guys well.
I'm excited.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Travis.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tom, like always, you got the last words.
Good night, mother.